Good evening and welcome to the sun-drenched Pembroke Cricket Club for the Sprint Coatings Women's Senior Cup Final between Pembroke Cricket Club and Merrion Cricket Club. With me I have Mark Jones on comms. Mark, looking forward to a really good match today.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a very good contest. Two reasonably evenly balanced teams, I think.
Yeah, two very different semi-finals really. Pembroke beat Clontarf by 135 runs. That was a real hammering, unfortunately, for Clontarf. Mary Waldron was impressive with 94, lots of innovation in her innings, and then Orla Prendergast came in late and smashed 43. It was a real tight one between Merrion and Leinster down on Anglesey Road. Leinster batted first, made 156 for 4. Their captain and Ireland captain Laura Delaney made 106 from 65 balls out of their total, and it looked like they might win until Cecilia Joyce came to the crease for Merrion Cricket Club. She made 72 from 49 with 8 fours and 2 sixes, and she was assisted by Rachel Delaney and Celeste Rath, both scoring 36. They ran out 8 wicket winners in the end with a few balls to spare. So these two probably, two of the top teams in the province at the moment. Plenty of internationals across the teams. There you have the teams in front of you. Anna Beale comes in late for Claire Shillington. Louise Little and Mary Waldron are likely to open the batting. We'll have Shauna Kavanagh then, and then the likes of Cleana Tucker and Lainey Martin coming in later. Then you have the bowlers. Orla Prendergast won't bat down at number 10. She'll be up at number 4, I think. And Hannah Little will open the bowling with Prendergast. Pembroke won the toss and they've elected to bat. So opening the bowling for Merrion is likely to be the young fast bowler Niamh McNulty. She's really impressed. Took 5 wickets recently, and as did Isabel Light. She took 5 wickets in the Hills match for Merrion. In a 50 over game, they've a lot of spin there. Rachel Delaney, Leah Paul, Celeste Rack, and then slow bowling of Julianne Morrissey. So plenty of options for them. Looks to be a really good wicket. The umpires have gone out to the middle. Today we have Shrini Carpe and Jeremy Jeffrey. Really glad to have them here, and great to have 2 very experienced scorers, Graham Mooney and Ursula Lewis, today. Merrion take the field. And what do you think is a good total on this deck today, Mark? It looks like a really good wicket.
It does. It's always been a fast scoring ground here, so I'd say you'd be looking at least 160, 165. Looking at the scores here recently, they've always been in around that number, so anything that 160 is probably par in my opinion.
Yeah, 160, I think you're right, is par, and especially in a final. I think that's huge pressure in a final, 160.
Yeah, runs on the board's always key, I think, in a final. Yeah,
that's the old saying, and it's an old saying because it's true, I guess.
Yep.
2 top batters coming out. Mary Waldron, as I said, 94 last week. Really disappointed to miss out on a ton in a 20 over game.
Yeah, 94 is a fantastic score, especially done off 47 balls and 15 fours, and that's how she obviously gave it a bit of tap that day.
She certainly did. Merrion sporting a new strip, just arrived this week in time for the second half of the summer, so looking very fresh. I'm not sure I'd want to be wearing all black like Pembroke on a day like today. It's absolutely scorching this week.
It is brilliant. All right, it's perfect cricket weather, perfect cricket evening, so let's hope for a good game.
Yeah, beautiful weather down on the wall. What an evening to enjoy cricket. This is the Sprint Coatings Women's Senior Cup Final, and we're about to get underway. And as I said, Niamh McNulty, the young fast bowler, will open the bowling. Has a couple of brothers who are also fast bowlers, so it obviously runs in the family.
And Lulu Little, you're a batsman? Batsperson, sorry.
Batter, yeah,
all right.
Batter. I know it's all changed terminology.
She scored 99 red the last time these two teams played.
Massive, isn't it? Yeah, she likes playing spin, and there are a lot of spinners in the Merrion team, but we're about to get underway. Niamh McNulty to Mary Waldron. Full toss to start and put away by Mary Waldron. She doesn't even bother running. She knew off the bat that was 4 all the way.
Yeah, great start from Mary. Full ball on around the knee roll, and she just leant into it, didn't try and overhit it, and just played it through mid wicket straight to the boundary for 4 runs. Great start for Pembroke.
It's all about who holds their nerve in a final, isn't it? No surprise to see a full toss first up from a young bowler, but then how often do we see batters make a meal of it and hit a catch? So nerves of steel from Waldron on that occasion.
It's very controlled shot.
Much better from McNulty, just beats the outside edge. Good length, and Waldron just flirting with her outside edge there.
Yeah, it didn't really move her feet to that one, did she? She just kind of hung the bat out there. And maybe looking to run it down at third man for a single, but that's fraught with danger, especially early on in the innings.
Hits this one strongly, well fielded by Isabel Lighton, backward point. Collected by Cecilia Joyce, who's got the gloves today.
Yeah, it's a nice bit of feeling there at backward point, and as you saw there, Mary got herself into a much better position to play that shot. The back foot went across, and hence it was a much better stroke.
Two fielders on the boundary at the moment are cover and third man. Short, but Mary Waldron unable to leave McNulty pay this time.
Did that stay down a little bit?
Definitely did. I think we might see that when it's short today. It's been so dry.
Yeah, it's been very dry. He's left a lot of grass on it though. I noticed when I was out in the middle. So it'd probably take a bit of seam as well.
A better length this time, and a bit too much bounce for Waldron. It's difficult to bat on when the ball is either staying low or kind of getting a little extra bounce. Yeah,
very up and down so far in this over. Two balls roughly the same length. One came through just over stump high, and one came through under knee roll height. So it's one to keep an eye on.
Well bowled by McNulty. She's really got into her work after that boundary off the first ball. She's bowled 5 dots, so good comeback from the youngster. Pembroke 4 without loss.
Very good comeback in the end to get out of that over after a very shaky, nervous looking start.
Yeah, and you can see from her teammates, they're all going up and giving her a high 10. They know how difficult that is to come back from a start like that.
Very much so. How long has your sister been keeping?
Actually, she's been doing it for a long time. She has kept for Ireland, would you believe?
Has she?
Yeah, when there were a couple of injuries. She's not bad. That. She prefers to field, and because she used to field for Ireland, she used to try and not to wicket keep. But now I think she's happy enough, doesn't have to do too much running.
It has its benefits, all right.
So if you're just joining us, this is the Spring Coatings Women's Senior Cup final between Pembroke and Merrion. Pembroke won the toss and elected to bat. I'm Isabel Joyce, and joined on the mic by Mark Jones. And we'll have Julianne Morrissey from the Wheelfield Road end. Tall bowler, bowls very slow, but actually quite difficult to play because she gets a bit of extra bounce with her height.
Yeah, I noticed the two people shows out a deep cover. Straight on the money first up though, and out at cow corner, deep mid wicket.
Yeah, it's good.
Try and give her a bit of protection.
Yeah, it's a good field for Lulu Little. Although I would like to see a long on for her. That's her favourite area. I'd probably go long on and cow for Julianne. Goes on the back foot. I hope there wasn't an edge on that. No real reaction from the bowler.
Certainly might have been a bit of a noise, I thought.
We'll give Cecilia the benefit of the doubt behind the stumps and say there was no edge. Not too much of no oohs and ahs from the fielders.
Correct.
She's a bit of a cult figure, Julianne Morrissey, in women's cricket. Looks very easy to face. You think you'd love to face her, but actually extremely difficult. She's bowled what she's bowling now for a long time. I won't give away her age by saying quite how long, but she's a real handy operator. Worked leg side and well fielded by Abby England in mid wicket.
Just very in her length there. She takes after her brother, so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Joe looks like a very innocuous bowler, but as we all know, he's been doing that for 20 odd years at senior cricket level and done very, very well.
So happy to take the single. Finally, Lulu Little manages to push one out to cover. She'll be glad to get down the other end.
Yeah, very nicely bowled. Mary's a big fan of the sweep, so I wonder if you try and employ that with no deep square out.
Well, we're seeing a change in the field. They've brought cover up and they're putting out long on, so they obviously expect her to play straight down the ground. So you might be right. There's no 45 in place. Just mid wicket and square leg on the one. So a big gap behind square if she's willing to take it on. Opts to club it down the ground. Beautifully played by Waldron. Bisects extra cover and mid off. Races away. She's timed that so well.
Yeah, fantastic shot. Just waited on it very nicely and played superbly through extra cover.
Yeah, disappointing end for Julianne. Very tight early on. Pembroke moved to 9 without loss after 2.
Still, I thought she bowled a very good in very good areas there. It was certainly a good line and good length the first 3 or 4 balls of the over.
I think that shot shows how good a wicket it is.
Seems to be very true. I thought it might be a little bit too paced, all right, when I was out there. It seemed to be darker down this end, the Willfield Road end, than it is down the St John's Road end. It seems to be a little bit more, a little bit less grass at the end that she's bowling on. So it might come on a little bit quicker.
Maybe that's the end that they'll attack from. I guess we'll see as the game progresses. So Niamh McNulty to return from the St John Road end. Flicked into the leg side, taking on Hannah de Berg-White. Good single. They both left at exactly the same time, so no real danger there.
Yeah, no check call. Worked quite well into the mid-wicket area and comfortable single in the end. But still bowling good areas.
Short. Got onto Waldron a little bit quicker than she thought. Possibly hit the famed Pembroke Ridge.
Well, I think she take a step down the track there.
Yeah, just shuffled down.
Showing a bit of intent early doors is Mary.
Just gambled wrong, didn't she?
She did.
Or perhaps the bowler saw her coming and dropped it in short.
She did go very early.
Much fuller and Yorkshire this time. They're going to take on the fielder at mid-on. Good running from Waldron.
Yes, another very good run. Mary's obviously very intent on coming out and being very positive, which is very good to see. And obviously in a 20-over game, positive intent is what is required in all formats.
Yeah, it's really frustrating as a fielding team when you've got players on the single and the other team are able to take singles to them. So
it's a bowler's nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a good ploy, isn't it? Driven strongly, put down by the bowler, but great stop from Niamh McNulty. She saved a certain 4. The chance may have gone down, but it was one of those that either sticks or it doesn't.
Very much so. It looked like she almost had it, and then it just spilled out. I don't think she was very well reacted to, but unfortunately just spilled out at the last second.
Edged to take on the point fielder. Just took a little bit too long to release the ball. It's always one, I think, to point if the non-striker is backing up properly and they go straight away. Very difficult to run them out. And Lulu Little is very quick, so she'll get down to the non-striker's end easy enough.
Yeah, that's right. Especially point is normally on the circle as well, and with the wicketkeeper standing back, it is very difficult to effect run out without having a direct hit. But as you say, once both batters go at the same time, it's very difficult to stop a single.
Lap sweep from Mary Waldron. She saw the gap. She took on Niamh McNulty. Clever shot from Waldron. Closes out the third. Pembroke 16 without loss.
Yes, lovely shot from Mary for her third 4 of the innings so far. She's shown very good intent, and as I said previously, but I think Pembroke are obviously looking to try and at least score a run of ball. They're taking on the field at every opportunity.
I think they're playing smart cricket. They know that they have probably 3 or 4 batters. They want to do most of their scoring, so they're not just throwing caution to the wind. I mean, Lulu Little we've seen in the past, maybe when Claire Shillington, who's missing today, is lengthening the batting order, she might attack a little bit more early on. But with Shillington out of the team, Lulu Little knows she needs to stay in for more of the innings and probably play a little bit more conservatively. So Julianne Morrissey short this time, but there is protection out and cover. That's the bowler Niamh McNulty.
Well fielded. Nice return throw to the wicketkeeper. So you think Lulu's going to look to bat the 20 and everyone else bat around her?
I think she'll just make sure she gets them to 5 or 6 overs and then she'll attack. She just doesn't want to go early.
Okay.
But Orla Prendergast coming in behind and Shauna Kavanagh are their other two main batters, so there is plenty of batting. Bit of a swipe from Waldron, well fielded by Abby England. Anticipated that really well mid-wicket. This is where Julianne can get you. You start playing 3 or 4 shots in your head before the ball even reaches you.
Very much so. I would not like to face this.
Chance and down. That went straight to the fielder. She's injured herself, I think, or maybe she's just injured her pride, but she stopped at 4, but the chance went down, so Waldron has given 2 chances so far.
He's on a bit of a charmed life so far, all right, is he? Is that Celeste Rack?
It's Hannah de Berg-White.
Hannah de Berg-White, sorry. It was straight in, straight out, but it sounded like it hit the palm.
Full toss, and Waldron doesn't miss out this time. Races to the rope, picks the gap. 4 more.
Very nicely played. More controlled this time than the previous 2 deliveries. Just waited on that. It was full in the end, and she put it away lovely through the vacant deep square region.
Yeah, how often do you see it, bowler, after a dropped chance, bowls a loose delivery, they're still thinking about the chance that went to begging?
I'd say about 80%. Something always happens after a drop catch, whether it be an actual wicket or a boundary.
Yeah. So you can hold their nerve the most. So they've changed the field. They've put square leg out in the boundary. They've got a deep straight mid wicket. Only 2 fielders allowed outside the ring in the first 6, of course. And hit strongly through the offside. Just strays wide outside the off stump, and a lovely cut shot for 4.
Yeah, very nicely played. Just waited on it and played it through the vacant point area. Very good cricket from Mary. She spotted the gap and she hit it straight to where the fielder was. Again,
yeah.
More frustration for Merrion. I hate it when that happens as well.
I don't like this field for Julianne. It's very difficult to bowl to. She has to bowl leg stump.
She has to bowl straight, yeah.
Yeah, to try and hit those fielders. And then you're opening up that area behind square where there's no fielders. So Hannah de Berg comes around and tidies that up. So just the 2 runs from that one. An expensive over from Morrissey.
An expensive over so far, yes, and that's the end of it.
11 from it. 4 gone. Pembroke 27 without loss.
Yeah, just back to the field. I would like to see someone at 45 if you're going to have a person at deep square and out of cow corner. You need that bit of protection because, as you say, Julianne has been forced to bowl straight with that field.
Yeah, I think they kind of had to take their either take the 3rd man and move them across to 45, or else take mid wicket out. It's not a great field to bowl to. She should probably say, right, I'm going to bowl outside off and full and keep that cover fielder out and possibly long off or long on, something like that. When you put a square leg and a cow out and it's not a spin bowler, it's very difficult to bowl to.
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
We have a change of bowling here. Rachel Delaney comes on for Merrion from the St John's Road end. Off spinner, has a funny little action. She's changed her action. It used to be kind of in 2 halves and now she's trying to smooth it out. So you'll see it kind of jerk around a little bit, but very effective bowler. Can change her pace really well.
Are we talking Cam Brennan-esque or?
You'll have to tell me when you see it. So the 2 fielders out are cover and cow. Straight to that fielder in cow for a single to start off with for Lulu Little. These 2 starting to look more comfortable in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah, they're making some nice partnership here. Obviously Mary is taking the lead with 23. Lulu playing the supporting role as you suspected she would, so well called. But it was nicely played there by Lulu. Just waited on it again and just leant on it through a mid wicket for a single.
Edged. There is no 3rd man. Point will have to give chase. Not much pace on the ball, so just the 2 from it. Not a great shot from Waldron. Probably should have come forward. The pace of Delaney really encourages you forward. If you go back, you really open yourself up to an LB shout. And she's moving her 45 round to 3rd man now. And decides against it. Yeah, you don't set a field for an edge, do you?
You can't. No, you can't. You want to put a slip in, or you leave it out. It was a genuine edge, I think.
And straight to that fielder that they left in 45, so good decision in the end from Delaney. I'm interested to see how Lulu Little plays the spin of Delaney. She likes to go down the ground, likes to hit big, but if she's been told she's playing the anchor role, she might have to fight her instincts.
But now you see the 45 going across.
I know.
It's deep square and deep cover are the two boundary riders.
Does go for the big shot, misses the outside edge, possibly playing for the spin. I'm not sure that would have made it over mid-off if she had made contact.
I'm not sure. It's a bit of a waft, wasn't it? There wasn't really much intent to that. With Rachel bowling this slow, you like to come down the wicket to it and get over on top of it.
Onto the back foot. She does change up her pace and her length very well, Delaney. And now we see the square leg go back out and cover come in for Mary Waldron. She's very good on the sweep. Lots of innovation.
Mary.
Yeah, lots of innovation as we've seen already. That's a big wide chance. And another drop.
That's the third one down. The third time Mary's been put down. A difficult chance for Gillian, but got a full hand to it. And I think it's one of those that goes kind of hung in the air a little bit longer, and she had a little bit more time than she thought initially.
Yeah, she could have gone with two hands, but that's the end of 5. Pembroke 33 without loss. And with that, we will bid you adieu for the moment and welcome Sean and Craig.
Yeah, thanks Isabel for those watching on the stream. Here's the chance from Marcy. She got a good hand on it, just didn't stick in.
She was very unlucky there. It's one of those ones that you hope sticks. Despair as you see it fall out of your hand. Afternoon, Sean.
Afternoon, Craig. We're going to have another change of bowling. The captain, Leah Paul, going to bring herself on. Last over of the power play, always an important over.
Beautiful evening this evening anyway. Really set up for a cup final.
Yeah, and a good crowd building. Of course, this is finals weekend. It's the Spring Coatings Women's Senior Cup final. Our thanks to Spring Coatings for their sponsorship of all things women's cricket. And Leah Paul's elected for 2 fielders on the leg side, cow corner and deep square. And she's going to bowl a left arm orthodox, something we've been seeing improve from her in recent years. Really an important bowler now for the Irish national side.
Certainly has come on a lot now in the last couple of years.
Short and wide, probably got away with that. Looks like it slammed into the pads of Waldron, maybe tucked her up for room slightly.
Yeah, she couldn't free her arms there and get it away, but short. First ball up, you don't want to be throwing everything at it.
Well, that looks where Waldron's targeting. Back with a square on the leg side. She's got a few away there already. Tossed up, and again that's going to be called a wide. She doesn't want to give any sort of width here to Waldron, get her hands through the ball.
No, if you give Mary room, she'll free her arms, and well, we saw her slapping a couple through the covers when she was given room outside the off stump.
Well, it's been an even enough power play so far. Pembroke would be delighted, no wickets lost. So important for late order runs. Some power hitting to come, and that one's frayed through the offside. It's a good stop by Niamh McNulty, gets a hand on it, and it's definitely saved 3 runs there for her side.
Certainly has. That was headed straight to the boundary. She managed to get her whole body down there. Now there seems to be, for Lulu Little, a change in the field.
Yeah, square legs come in, deep cover. Remember, there's only 2 fielders allied outside the ring. 45's moved across to
third.
Short third. No, it's cow corner in place and a deep cover. Trying to tempt them into playing down the ground. And she comes down the track and just guides that. It's a lovely shot. In the end, only gets one, maybe a little bit unlucky.
Obviously had the intent to come down the track and, as you say, play it straight over the bowler's head, but saw it wasn't the ball to do that to, and just dropped it down to third and took the run.
I think Merrion need to find a way of keeping Waldron off strike. 28 from 20 so far. Playing that aggressive nature of hers. Again, another player we've seen a huge increase in her batting and her prolificness with runs. Of course, 94 in the semi-final. At a rapid rate as well. Pitched up, played into the offside, will just be a single.
Mary has certainly benefited from spending her winters in Australia, where she's progressed not only her batting but her umpiring, recognised by the ICC. But I think the club cricket over there has really helped her batting as well, and given her the confidence to move it forwards.
And I think it's been important for all sides of Irish cricket. Leah Paul spent a bit of time in Australia, Laura Delaney in the past, so it's so important for these Irish cricketers to get that bit of practice in the winter.
Well, it's absolutely fabulous. I mean, 30, 40 years ago when I started, there were hardly any of the men who went over to Australia in the winter. Just shows the strides that women's cricket has taken now, that Australian teams are looking for players to come over.
Short into the leg side, into the pad. There could have been two noises there. And Leah Paul gets out of her over. Conceding no boundary, 5 from the over, and that's the end of the power play. 38 for none from 6.
So the difference between the power play in the first 6 and after the first 6 is the number of fielders inside the ring, is outside the ring.
I think Merrion will be pretty happy with that. I think both sides will be happy with that. I don't think if you're Merrion, you would have liked a wicket, 3 drop catches, a couple of difficult chances in there.
They've certainly had opportunities there, and they'll probably be wishing they'd taken 1 or 2 of those.
And it's going to be Rachel Delaney to continue. Of course, the field can spread out a little bit more.
5 outside the ring now, is it?
5 outside.
Thank you, John.
And we see deep square, cow corner, and I think long on's moving into position.
Long on as well.
And deep cover is moving out. So the field is spread out a little bit. And this is where the boundary options become harder to find. And there's going to be Delaney. Just played into the offside. Good call from Mary Waldron. No run. And again, this is the difficulty for Little, and maybe where Merrion can find a way of creating pressure, trying to keep Waldron off strike.
Quite possibly. I mean, as you say, Mary's scoring an overrunner ball. But at the moment, Lulu's just getting herself settled.
Played into the offside. Again, another dot.
She's not been bowling for a while, growing into her back.
Down the track, cut away. Good field now, deep cover, just be 1.
Sign of a well set field. Fielder only had to move a yard forwards. Collect that one. And then the field doesn't alter too much for Mary's facing.
No, 45's come across now from
third.
From short third. That's one. It's well bowled from Rachel Delaney. Again, someone who's worked hard on her bowling, changed it up as Izzy was saying earlier, and she's starting to reap the rewards from it. This has been a good first 10 deliveries from her. Very important now, just 1 from the over. Your field can afford to drop back, cut the boundary option. Twice already we've seen boundaries from the last ball of the over.
That's well bowled. You could see Mary was intent on repeating the boundary off her last ball. Oh, this will be the last ball.
And this is good from Delaney. Only 1 from the over so far. You just feel like a little bit of pressure is starting to build. Very important she gets out of her over. Down leg, and she's going to get a wide, and they're going to run it. Could be a chance. Direct hit. Didn't come. Very good running.
Good early call. The standard of running has certainly picked up over the last couple of years. I think there's some good coaching going on with the women now, and they're benefiting from that.
Well, it was given a leg bye. Must have just flicked the pad. Just 2 from the over though.
Good over for Merrion. Plugs it back a bit.
Now we see the run rate under a run of ball. Very important. It's been an impressive start from Merrion, been very disciplined. And I think this is where the key battle in the game is here. Mary Waldron, can she face enough balls to keep on strike? Want to try and dot up Lulu Little. Struggled a little bit this far. Waldron on strike here. Down on the sweep. That's gone back with a square. Bit of work in the deep for Abby England, and she can't get around. That's a fine shot by Mary Waldron.
She couldn't have placed that any better by hand. It's the one that always keeps the fielder interested till the last possible moment.
And you can see the pace in the outfield. It's quickened up here in the last few days in Dublin, where
Bit of sunshine.
in the midst of a mini heat wave, grass is starting to brown up that little bit, and certainly down towards the railway tracks it does seem to run away here. And a good start for the over. 4 from it. First ball, Leopold under a little bit of pressure. Bowling to one of the form batsmen in Irish cricket. Pitched up down the track, played into the leg side. Look for 2. Rebecca Stokel cuts it to just 1.
That's excellent fielding. Super return.
It's a beautiful evening here in Sydney Parade. Crowd is building. Of course, the home side are in the final, always helps. Start of finals weekend here at Pembroke. This is the Springs Coatons Women's Senior Cup final between Merrion and Pembroke.
And tomorrow the Sports Hub Men's Senior Final.
Between Merrion and YMCA. Pitched up down the track. That's a fine shot by Lulu Little.
She's found that gap. That will settle her down a bit now. I'm sure she was looking at the scoreboard and seeing Mary getting ahead, but proving that her 94 against Merrion in the league this year. So Merrion certainly won't discount her, even if she is playing this anchor role.
Absolutely. 99 not out in that earlier meeting between the sides in the league. Game which Pembroke won.
Bowlers brought Celeste Rack back to the boundary here at mid-off.
Square legs come in. That's played into the offside. Will just be 1.
They're taking on the arm.
And that's great running. A little bit of a misfield. And all of a sudden that pressure that was built up in that last over started to be released. 11 from the 4 balls already. 2 important deliveries for the Merrion captain. Key for Pembroke is that wicket column sitting at 0. Pitched up and just played for 1 at the short third, and that's good running.
A lack of pace in the shot, letting them get through for the single. Pembroke having gone past the half century now.
And I don't think it'll be too long before we see Celeste Rack. She's very important to this Merrion side. Of course, Merrion predominantly spin based. Of course, you saw the earlier pace of Niamh McNulty. I think we'll see the rest of it a spin. And nearly a drag on there from Mary Waldron. And Leopold gets out of the over. Cuts the damage slightly. After 8, it's 52 for none.
Well, yep, more people streaming in through the gate now. The post-work crowd and post-dinner, I suppose, for Sandymount residents. It's certainly worth your while coming down here this evening. Super game of cricket on. Super weather.
Well, they're 2 evenly balanced sides packed with international players, and of course they meet up in a couple of days for the Netherlands series. So the 2 teams know each other very well, of course play each other regularly, and they're meeting here in the showpiece game of the cricketing season. Yeah, the Spring Coatons Women's Senior Cup final. It's going to be Rachel Delaney to bowl her 3rd over. Been impressive so far. 2 overs, none for 7. And it's Lulu Little on strike. Down the track towards mid-off. Chance direct hit. Oh, and it's a bit wild from Rack. And it's good running.
Well fielded, got rid of the ball quickly, back to the bowler. but it was just slightly wide of the stumps, and that enabled Lulu to get home and bring Mary Waldron back on strike.
And it's interesting. Again, 45 has moved across for Waldron. Come across
They really
on short
are.
third. And she plays the reverse sweep. She'll get a couple here. And she's running hard. It could be a chance here. And he's given. He's given it. Mary Waldron's run out. It was a risky double rather. And Isabel Light, fantastic bit of fielding, good throw. And Cecilia Joyce does the rest. And again, was it needed? Mary Waldron had been playing so well. 35 from 29, but she's run out. And all of a sudden, that start they had, the 50-run partnership for the opening wicket, well, it's gone now. And Waldron has to go.
Well, she turned, she looked, she saw the fielder had the ball. I'm sure Noel will show us now.
Well, it was Waldron who wanted it
She
straight
definitely
away.
called it straight away.
Straight away, and I'm not sure it was on Lulu, or sorry,
She
Isabel Light had the ball. Lulu Little didn't fancy it.
She spun the roulette wheel to see if the throw would be good enough, and she better get on against the throw, but the throw won, and she's now on her way. 38, the score 54 for 1 in this, the 9th over. So Merrion will be delighted with that breakthrough.
Yeah, an important juncture in the game. You felt that the pressure was starting to come. It's always interesting out of those power play overs how you go about finding the boundary option. Do you run that a little bit harder in the wicket? And in at number 3 for Pembroke is another Irish international, Shauna Kavanagh.
Shauna's been in the form of her life this season, showing that practice makes perfect.
And interesting to note, 45 is looks like
Shauna will be another big sweeper, and they're leaving the fielder there.
we're going to put 45 on the boundary. Leopold. Well, they're changing here. They're going to move the field round, so there's going to be 3 on the leg side, 2 on the sweep, and deep cover in place, so they know their plans. It's very interesting. These two sides know each other so well.
Yes, they've played each other a few times recently, haven't they?
And it's Delaney. Oh, and just outside the off stump. Well, that shot's on for Shauna Kavanagh. There is no short third. It's often you find yourself thinking you need an extra fielder, and I think if Merrion had one, definitely be in a short third. And Delaney is bowling that little bit flatter, a little bit quicker. And there it is. There's the shot. That's the gap, and Isabel Light's going to be busy again. Wonder if they'll take on the arm. They will. And that's good fielding by the youngster. And good running as well from Pembroke, but that shot is open for Shauna Kavanagh. The Merrion team are letting her have that shot.
They seem to be quite happy just to give her the run down there. Nobody on the boundary between the one on the 45 here and cover. They're expecting her to...
Oh, down the leg side.
Definitely expecting her to play down the leg side.
Umpire Carr signals that a wide. It's been good from Rachel Delaney so far.
Although she wouldn't want to be putting too many down the leg side.
Oh, and just played back to the bowler from Kavanagh. But certainly Merrion on top here after a good start by Pembroke. Start run out, that needless run out you feel. It's just offered Merrion a way into this game, a way of building pressure. And that's good bowling from Delaney. Gets out of her over.
That is a very good over. As you say, the momentum has definitely shifted Merrion's way. Pembroke with a new bat at the crease, looking to settle herself in.
It's interesting, the Merrion team having a little mini discussion here between Captain Leopold and wicketkeeper Cecilia Joyce. Her experience, you feel, is going to be so important in these last 11 overs. Cecilia Joyce batted beautifully in that semi-final, 72 from 49 against Leinster.
Well, that was definitely a game where experience won out. She paced that innings beautifully.
Now change of bowling now from Merrion, and again the wicket has just brought a chance to get a few overs out from Isabel Light, one of the younger players in the Merrion side. Got a 5 for her maiden, 5 for on Saturday against the Hills in the Pilkington Plate. And a little bit of extra pace on the ball here for the Pembroke batters. Be interesting to see the field. As a long off goes out, deep cover at the moment. And Cow Corner, who's 65 to 70% of the way there. And they're just moving another fielder into short third.
Back to a 5-4 field. A lot of thought is going into the Pembroke Merrion field placing. And in fact on the 45 going back out to the boundary.
Well, after 9 it's 57 for 1. Watch that wicket coming from the run out by Isabel Light. Now it's her turn to bowl. Right on the money. It's a good run though. Very good running. The fielder just sat back on the ring slightly. Very clever from Shauna Kavanagh.
Something you do find is that fielders set themselves according to discs on the ground as opposed to the actual game itself that's in front of them. Sometimes if you're 30 yards away you are definitely giving a single and you need to be that 5-10 yards in.
That's by Lulu Little rather. It's Shauna Kavanagh on strike now. Another important juncture of the game here. Mid wicket's just moving over to short third. Long off has come into the ring. 3 on the leg side. 1 at deep backward square leg. 1 on square and 1 at Cow Corner. And that's outside the off stump. It's going to be given a wide. Big test for the young Merrion bowler. First cup final. Interesting for Leah Paul as well, her first cup final as captain. Using the experience of Cecilia Joyce behind the stumps. Played into the leg strike on a run to mid-on. Good run up.
Well fielded. Clean pick up.
Very interesting to note all the fielders run into different positions. Different strengths of these players. Fine leg has gone out.
It's good how quickly they know to change.
Down the ground. And Celeste Rack does the field and that long off will just be 1. Oh. Game certainly in the balance. These next 10 overs be crucial. Can Pembroke late charge here. Certainly have a bit of batting depth to come. Like Savorda, Prendergast. I think these two will be looking to bat for the next 3 or 4 overs. Try and get something going. Certainly a very fast scoring ground. And that's well bowled. Right in the block hole, they're going to run it. And that's good running.
That's well run. So 2 balls to come in the first half of this innings. Neither side has really stretched ahead. Pembroke just the 1 wicket down, going along at a runner ball. But Merrion will be pleased with the control and the performance in the field so far.
This is good from Isabel Light. Important last ball. Can she get out of her over? It's only gone for 5 so far. Head into the offside. Good shot by Lulu Little. Or good field by Niamh McNulty. Will just be 1. It's a great over by Isabel Light. After 10 it's 63 for 1. Well, my thanks to Craig Senior for joining us. We'll hear more from him later on.
Yep.
And joining me now in the commentary box is Mark Jones.
Hey, Huss.
How are you getting on?
Good, mate, good. Evenly poised at this stage.
I think it is.
I think the foundations have been built, and now it's a case of Pembroke need to build on them.
You can see the bowling figure so far. Rachel Delaney going to bowl her fourth and final over here.
Yeah, 3 overs, none for 12. Fantastic figures. I think the Pembroke batters need to start having a go here, Huss. 6 going at just about a run a ball. You need to be increasing that now if you want to look for a score around. We said at the start about 160 was par. So 100 off the last 10 isn't unmanageable. But now it's time to hit the gas, I think.
Yeah. Need for a boundary option while the sweep is on. Deep squares come in. Interesting decision. That one's just played in, and maybe that ball could have gone towards deep square. It was a little bit shorter. Cow corners in, long on. Long off is back in deep cover. This is good from Delaney though. Bowling that a little bit quicker. And that's very tight, and that's great from Hannah de Berg-White in tight at extra cover, because Pembroke have been looking to almost drop and run at times.
Yeah, they seem to have cut down on those singles in the last number of overs. It was hit and run at the start of the innings. But Rachel Delaney certainly bowled a very tight line of length.
Run to point. That's good running. Good running. Well, Merrion won't mind that too much. Only one from the first 3 balls of the over so far.
No, I think it's time the Pembroke batters start taking a few risks.
Well, the field's changed. Long on and long off into the circle. 2 out on the sweep. 1 at cow corner as well and deep cover. Different plans for different batters, and Kavanagh straight onto that sweep shot. It's out to Rebecca Stokel. It'll just be 1.
Final ball of the over coming up here. See if Rachel Delaney can... There's a 2 to come, sorry. See if Rachel Delaney can get out of this over. It's been a fantastic spell so far. Wicketless, but absolutely fantastic economy rate.
I'm going to run that. That's good running. But it doesn't do an awful lot of damage to a Merrion. Nor does it do to Rachel Delaney. And it's the final ball of her spell. Bowling to Shauna Kavanagh.
9 wickets in the hutch. You'd like to think that the accelerator need to be hit quick.
And there it is. A dot to finish Rachel Delaney's 4 overs. A stunning spell, wicketless. But only 15 runs coming from her 4 overs. Exactly what Merrion needed.
Yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. A brilliant spell of bowling, which has curtailed the Pembroke batters. Do we need to revise what we think par score is here, Huss?
Well, I do think there'll be a certain amount of that happening in the Pembroke team 10th over.
And when the ball is coming onto the bat as we expected, it's a little bit slower than I thought it would be.
I think so, and I think you might have
all the spinners Merrion have, it's
well, I think that's the key.
It's going to be difficult to score off them.
I think that's the key for Merrion. I think they've really used their bowlers very well. I thought Niamh McNulty bowled very well up top.
Very much so.
But the squeeze is certainly on for Merrion.
I think Pembroke need to start taking a few risks and gambling a little bit.
Well, I think if there's any bowler they may target, I think Isabel Light could be that one.
Just a 6 off the first over, so subtle change in the field here again. Fine leg is coming up to mid wicket, leaving that area exposed. I'll paddle sweep here, Huss, maybe.
It's an interesting field they have, and I think we're
They
just
made fine leg run all the way from up to long on. You don't thank the captain for that one, would you?
I'm not sure the over rate is overly quick at the moment, but in the sunshine as well, it's only adding to it. Isabel Light, and here to bowl her second. And just played into the offside. Immediate call it too. Niamh McNulty attacks it. They're going to run it. Could be tight, and a good running in the end.
Yeah, he got there comfortably in the end. It is a very deep boundary out there.
That's the kind of intent if you're in the Pembroke team. That's what you want to see. I think there's a lot of 2s here.
There is a lot of 2s, yeah. They had that intent at the start when Mary was in, but as soon as she left, the intent kind of dropped for a couple of overs.
Lulu Little. Right into the offside. Skewed over. Backward point. They're going to run up. Trying to Kavanagh wants you. Might get three.
Here,
Yeah, I think they are going to get three.
Easy three.
That's good running. But all straight away, you do see that intent. 2 from the first ball, 3 from the second ball. You do feel like this could be the over. Young Isabel Light.
Trying to break the shackles, all right, Huss.
I think Pembroke have to make something happen.
Another change of the field here. Cecilia Joyce seems to be calling the shots, bringing in long on and dropping back the fine leg. Maybe trying to preempt the little paddle sweep.
Let's play towards mid on. I'll just be 1. Good running, good early call.
She's bowling in very good areas, is Isabel Light. Very difficult to get away if you're not prepared to move your feet. And with the keeper standing back, I think it's an option is to go at her and go at her hard.
Just work the square leg for 1. Shy of the stumps.
She's just getting a little bit of induck as well.
Maybe something off the pitch there. I think you could be right. They might have to revise their targets and have a good bit of batting to come. 9 wickets, that's the key for Pembroke. That's why you're looking at if you're in the Pembroke hutch. And full into the leg side. A bit of a fumble. And a chance. Oh, direct hit could have been gone. That's really good running in the end.
Very good running in the end, but I think the bowler needs to be behind the stumps there. Collected that and took the bails off. It would have been very tight, I think. But certainly more intent being shown now in this over. Still, like Pembroke are in a great position at 73 for 1 off 11.5, or 75 for 1 as it is now.
They do say runs on the board in a cup final, and umpire Carp has put his hand up for a no ball. That'll be the first free hit of the cup final. And this is important for Isabel Light.
Yeah, Jeremy Jeffrey signaling the free hit there. They're allowed to change the field because the batters switched ends, but an over waist high full toss, so Isabel in their last ball of her second over could pay a penalty. Full again and a full toss, hit straight back at her. It takes a very nice catch, and that's over up.
Well, after 12, Pembroke 77 for 1. Much better over from them. They've been a little bit disappointed with that last ball, the free hit. And Isabel Light gets out of there. There's a bit of a crowd catch. I'm not sure. A few people on the wall thought it wasn't a free hit.
Yeah, it's amazing how that always happens, you know. Whenever there's a free hit, a wicket falls and there's always a cheer somewhere. Someone's obviously not paying attention all the time. But the wall's starting to fill up nicely over there. A few pints to be had, I think, in a beautiful evening down at Pembroke.
Yeah, and the barbecue's here as well. Philip Byrne and his team here at Pembroke have done a brilliant job, as has the ground. Dan McDonough has the place in terrific order.
He always does, Dale.
Of course, the men's cup final on tomorrow between Merrion and YMCA.
Big weekend for Merrion, Huss.
Double weekend for Merrion, yeah. It's going to be Celeste Rack changer bowling after Rachel Delaney bowled her compliment. I think this is a big part of the game as well. And she starts with a big full toss. Oh, a little bit of a misfield. And the Merrion, a little bit of a misfield by Merrion. Good running in the end by Shauna Kavanagh.
She may have got away with one there. Was that over waist height, you think, Huss?
I think she might
I
have
know
just...
she went very low to try and sweep it very initially, so it's very difficult to call it, but it certainly seemed to slip out of the hand for Raki.
That one's down leg. There's going to be a chase on here for Julianne Marcy. Going to run towards the boundary.
Signal as a wide, so looking at 3 runs here.
Well, it definitely is an important part of the game. Celeste Rack, you do feel she's going to bowl her 4 overs if it goes well. It's had a little bit of difficulty trying to grip the ball, the newer ball especially. And that one's dragged down, played into the leg side.
3 out on the leg side field though. Just a single this time. Well fielded, well returned.
Deep backward square legs come in towards 45, and square legs come in as well, long on, long off, back. Different plans. I'm going to take short third out. I'm going to move her into mid wicket. 5-4 leg side field, so that reverse sweep is on.
Region free, yeah, Hus. Little goes down the ground this time though, straight to extra cover. Dot ball, nicely fielded. I think I feel Lulu's getting a little bit frustrated out there though, just by her body language. She wants to get on with it, but she's also conscious of not getting out.
Yeah, I do feel like it's not maybe coming on as well as first indicated. That's good running, good bowling by Celeste Rack. Down the track from Lulu Little, signal the leg bye.
Seems to be a little bit on the slow side. Definitely not coming on as we thought it might, but there is quite a covering of grass on the wicket. So I think the ball is just digging in and gripping. Not too much spin though, I don't think.
Played leg side. Just be one. Of course, it's been a busy couple of days for the Merrion side. This is their third game in 3 days, and for a lot of them they entered the national side's bubble. A lot of cricket to be played.
Yeah, 4 games against Holland next week, isn't it? Oh, sorry, the Netherlands.
That one played to point, will just be one.
Very full again from Rack. This time was only squirted out to the point area for another single. Good start from Celeste Rack. 8 off the over. Pembroke move on to 86 for 1 off 13. Still with 9 wickets in hand. They really got to start hitting the accelerator, eh?
And it looks like there is again another lengthy discussions between Cecilia Joyce, one of the senior players out there for Merrion. We've got the captain as well, and umpire Jeffrey just looking at his watch. I wonder on the Merrion side get a warning. Looks like Leopold's gonna ball from this end replace Isabel Light.
Yeah, no great surprise. Isabel was taken off there, a bit expensive in the last over. You mentioned that the Dutch series coming up, 4 T20 games next week. I noticed there's 7 or 8 players involved this evening in the squad, so we wish them all the best.
I'm sure the head coach Ed Joyce is watching, so hoping all the girls get through it. Of course, Rebecca Stokoe passed the late fitness test during the week. Very important, not only for Merrion tonight, for Ireland next week.
Very much so. Very much so.
And changing the field, Leopold. Long on, cow corner, long off, deep cover. She's going to bowl her third over. The captain.
Very nicely bowled, nicely flighted. Offering no width at all.
I think that's the key, certainly with this field.
And with the pace she bowls, she can't really afford to give much width as well. So I think Lulu's going to have to start using her feet a little bit more to her.
Yeah. Of course, no short third. Anything short and wide could be in trouble. That one played leg side.
Don't think it was intended leg side though. Bit of an inside edge, but good intent down the wicket. Looking to try and hit it straight back over the bowler's head. Just got to caught the inside edge, as is that type of shots want. You don't quite get there. Again, it just shows the pitch is a little bit slow.
On the reverse sweep, could be on for Shauna Kavanagh. The sweep is blocked up at the moment. Long on and long off into the ring. Merrion trying to get through a few more overs, and that's Boulder down the track, and the Merrion skipper gets her wicket. A big wicket at that. Shauna Kavanagh and Pembroke, they've lost their second, and that little bit of pressure, they can't quite get into the 4th gear.
Yeah, Shauna Kavanagh looking to go big, and I think Leopold just held that one back slightly. He was slightly slower, and she was through the shot, missed it, and riddled middle stump, as we'll see here on the replay. Just nicely flighted, little bit of turn, middle and off, very nicely bowled. Shauna kind of lost her shape on the way down. Should have tried to try and play it for a little bit straighter, but eyes lit up and went across and unfortunately missed out.
And it's good for Merrion. I think they got their plans right so far.
They bowl very well without being. Well, they have dropped 3 catches, which is, if those are taken, it could be a very different score on the scoreboard. But still, it's still in the balance. Like 87 for 2 off 13. With Orla Prendergast, the new batter, coming in now. Shauna Cavan had to depart for 13 off 14 deliveries.
Again, this could well be the key in the Pembroke batting lineup. Orla Prendergast, known as one of the bigger hitters in the game. 43 from 18 in the semi-final.
And only the 3rd individual to hit 100 in the Super Series. Taken after today's wicketkeeper for Merrion, Celia Joyce, and her Pembroke teammate who's not playing today, Claire Shillington.
And Prendergast enters the score at 87 for 2. Certainly feel like 140, 150 very much still on the cards if one of these two can play it deep.
Yeah, we said at the start that we thought Little might try and bat through the innings, which certainly looks like she's doing that. 30 off 38.
Oh, dropped again.
First
Difficult
ball,
chance.
just a little bit shorter this time from Leah Paul. And Orla Prendergast rocks back to try and dispatch it through the mid-wicket region and hits it straight to
Abbey England.
in the mid-wicket area, and unfortunately couldn't quite hold on to it.
It could be a big moment down the track. Very bit of work to do for deep cover. Niamh McNulty, oh, she slips. And that's going to be 4. And again, as it happened earlier, as soon as the drop catch happens, boundary follows next ball. A little bit of pressure for Paul.
Yeah, Sod's Law. Very nicely played this time by Little through the covers. A little bit unfortunate having slipped, but I'm not sure she would have made it anyway.
Seemed to time that a little bit better.
Yeah, it did race away through this very fast outfield. The ground is looking in great nick, in fairness, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be busy over the next couple of days. Played out towards deep cover. The work for Niamh McNulty again. Good arm. Stops it to just 1.
Very well fielded. Very well fielded. No taking on that arm. That's the end of 14 now. 87. Sorry. It's 92 for 2.
Here's the drop. You're just seeing on your screens there. Difficult chance. But 1 maybe in a cup final. You'd like to see taken if you're a Merrion supporter.
Yeah, the graphics at the bottom of your screen just need to update. Are we going to see another change of bowling, or is it still going to be Racky, do you think?
I think we're going to see Celeste Rack. I think
Looks
with
like
how
Rack,
late she's
yeah.
bowled, I think it's going to be important that they try and get 3 more overs out of her. 93 for 2 after 14. Lulu Little's on 35, and Orla Prendergast is the new batter. Going to be Celeste Rack. I'm just checking the field here. No, short third is in again. No 45s, so I don't think Lulu Little is going to play a sweep shot. I'm just wondering with the pace of Rack, is it still an option down the ground? Not got all of it. And Leah Paul
It's a splice this time, I think. Certainly clanked. Barely made the 30-yard circle for a single. Again, Rack bowling very full, very straight. Working on the premise that if you miss, she will hit.
And she's the most experienced bowler, you do feel, in this Merrion attack. Was played in the Big Bash. That one, full toss for Prendergast, pulled leg side. Niamh McNulty does the fielding. And it's good running.
Good running again, good intent between the wickets from Pembroke. They've been like that all evening, to be fair to them. They've always run the first one hard. They've taken on the field at every opportunity. It's good to see. Just lost direction there.
And again, Two internationals bowling to each other. 96 for 2 on the 15th, dragged down, played down towards long off. And de Berg White does the field and cuts it to just one again.
Fuller this time, again, borderline no ball, played out to the deep extra cover region just for the single. No signal again from the umpires. Bar the signal, there's 2 balls left in the over. Thought that was a bit tight again this time, Huss.
Yeah, I think she's just struggling with her length slightly. Saw it yesterday in the YMCA game as well. That one's a little bit better. Took him Prendergast for room slightly. Again, very important delivery, always is. Last ball of an over.
You got to get out of it.
And
It's
Carp
not
is
something
unmoved.
you see very regularly in a T20 match. A leave.
Well, after 15, it's 98 for 2. I'm going to pass it back to Isabel Joyce. And joining her will be Craig Senior.
Thanks, Sean. So 15 gone, 98 for 2. Who do you think would be the happier, Craig?
It's very evenly balanced. I think Pembroke would have been looking for more on the board than 98 at this stage. But with only 2 wickets down, they still have 5 overs from which to push and set a big total. Mark, I think at the start, was saying about 160.
Yeah,
Doing well to get to that now.
well, I think 160 would be par in a normal game, but a cup final, probably 140, just with the pressure of chasing. Would
Nerves.
be exactly. So Leah Paul, returning from the Wheelfield Road end. She's bowled well. An easy single down to long on.
Well, it's important that Pembroke take those singles as well. It's not all about boundaries now. They've got to take every run that's available.
You got to appreciate good bowling, and the main thing is not to face dots. It's Leah Paul can get through her over extremely fast, although Merrion are very far behind time, so that might be an issue for them. They might be docked some penalty runs.
I have various views on the fact of penalty runs. Yes, innings can't run on forever, and sometimes it is too slow, but a night like tonight where we've got the sun for long enough, there should be flexibility, and the game should be won on the paddock and not in the rule book.
Down the track again from Prendergast, and she manages to get it through the 2 fielders at extra cover. She hit it so hard with the straighter of the 2, just didn't manage to get down.
Threading the needle, that was. The 2 fielders were very close to it, and neither, because of the power, could get to it.
Yeah, disappointing for Leopold. She set the field, bowled to it, and then unfortunately just Prendergast able to get it between the fielders, but she did hit it so hard. So, and it is difficult fielding on the square here at Pembroke. That's the 100 up. They moved to 103 for 2 after 15.3 overs. Again, looks to go through, but fielder manages to stop it. So this is Leopold's 4th over, so she'll be finished after this. She's currently 1 for 30. Richard Delaney also bowled out. So the options for Merrion are Celeste Rack has 2 left, Isabel Light, Julianne Marcy and Niamh McNulty, and they'll have to share 4 overs between them. Well flighted chance for a run out, and they don't even appeal. They knew straight away it was out. A poor decision from Louise Little to take that single to Hannah de Berg White at mid-wicket. They've missed a few chances in the field here, Merrion, but didn't miss out on that occasion. A really big wicket as Pembroke looked to force their way up to a competitive total, and that's huge for Merrion. Pembroke 104 for 3.
Little departing for 38. She's done well. She's been the solid rock around whom the rest have played. Pembroke will really be looking to all of Prendergast now to push that total up. So So yes, Merrion's ground fielding has been absolutely on top of things. Unfortunately, a few catches have gone down, but again, cup finals, and things have gone to one hand or been hit exceptionally hard.
Yeah, they have been really hard chances. They're the kind of thing that either they stick in your hand or they don't. I think Niamh McNulty, you'd nearly be just saying thank you so much for stopping 4 rather than expecting her to catch that sharp chance that Mary Waldron hit her. That was when Mary was on 9. She was then dropped on 13. Again, a really sharp chance at square leg for Hannah de Berg-White. She's only returning to cricket after having a baby, so I think it's her 3rd match.
Wow.
But she stopped to 4 again, and then she was dropped again by Julianne Marcy. Probably a very tough chance, but the one that you might have expected to be taken, because going over Marcy's head, she got one hand to it. It kind of went in and went out.
It almost stuck.
It really did, didn't it? But she went for 35, Mary Waldron. Louise Little has just gone for 38, and we have Orla Prendergast on strike, joined by Emer Mullen.
Of course, Orla was nearly caught first ball.
Yep. A big chance first ball for Orla Prendergast.
She's joined now by Emer Mullen.
Yeah, 16 gone. Pembroke 104 for 3. So the real hopes of a big total lie with Orla Prendergast. She really can accelerate the score. Plays all around the ground. A really sweet timer of the ball. But huge pressure on her. She'll also be opening the bowling. Ireland's premier bowler at the moment, you'd have to say.
Well, she certainly turned the first round game against YMCA. Pembroke were sliding to defeat there and managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. And it all came down to Orla's last over. She brought herself back early, took 2 wickets and just knocked the stuffing out of the YM innings. And that allowed Pembroke to go there and go on and meet Clontarf in the semi-final.
And that was a convincing win for Pembroke, and Merrion beat Leinster in a classic, I believe. They were missing a couple of players, Merrion, but the returning Cecilia Joyce played a match-winning innings for them.
72 not out.
That was
she
it.
got and saw her team home.
Yeah, difficult for Laura Delaney to score 100 and lose a semi-final.
Yes.
But that's the state of the game at the moment, isn't it? Julianne Marcy is the choice that Merrion have made. She'll bowl from the St John's Road end. Wide straight away. Bit of a loosener for the Merrion veteran.
Yeah, she's coming on at the other end now. She bowled from the nursery end to start with.
Quick single to Leopold.
That's Emer Mullen's job now, to get off strike, rotate the strike.
Yeah, spot on. She's got to get her senior partner on strike and get Orla Prendergast facing as many deliveries as she can. A field change now. Square leg comes in. There's a deep straight mid-wicket, long on, long off and cover. Rocks onto the back foot, catches the inside edge. They'll take on the fielder. Another run-out chance, but Emer Mullen's quick between the wickets. She gets in, no problems.
Crowds building up here now in Sydney Parade. The 4 corners of the ground, one taken up by the teams, one taken up by the officials, and then the crowds are spread out, COVID compliant, around the ground. Plenty of pods and bubbles out there.
Bowling from Julianne. Just bowls a nagging line and length, and that extra bit of height just gives her some bounce you might not expect.
Yeah, if
It's
the
actually
bat
a
isn't going
batter's
to move her
nightmare.
feet,
Yeah.
that's a super ball.
Yeah, excellent bowling.
With
And
Emer Mullen rooted to the ground there, she really needs to take a step forward and get on top of the ball, or take a step back and cut it. But she's just allowing the bowler to bowl good balls to her. There we go.
edged and caught in point. Isabel Light takes a chance. Emer Mullen played too many from the crease. A sharp chance and well taken. Julianne Marcy sends Emer Mullen on her way. She's gone for 1.
Well, Isabel Light looked to be set, and she was going to take that catch all the way there. There was no doubt. She had that one well in her sights. That's another wicket down for Pembroke, and that's not what they wanted at this stage. 3 overs and 1 ball. See, she doesn't move her feet across and ends up just popping it into Point's hands. See here how Niall's camera work went. And he got that perfectly, as did Isabel.
Yeah, great field placement. Isabel Light just behind point, even though the bowling is slow. And I think we might have seen a touch of away movement for Julianne Morrissey. Might explain why it beat Emer Mullins outside edge a couple of times before that chance went up. But Merrion really pressing their advantage now. It was always going to be down to the top 4 for Pembroke to get them up to a high total.
Well, coming into bat now, Cleaner Tucker, well capable, and she'll also be looking just to get the strike to Orla, but she's capable of playing some nice shots herself. Coming in at number 6 for Pembroke. And she smothers the first ball she faces, but good to see, takes a big stride to do so.
A great over from Julianne Morrissey. 3 from it, but a very important wicket. That's miserly stuff for the 4th last over of the innings. Merrion rushing through here. They know they're behind time.
Certainly for a fielding side, if you can get an over just going for 3 runs in the last 5, you've got to be pleased with that. T20, I mean, it's not quite IPL where you're conceding 22, 23 and over, but even 12 makes a big difference here. So to keep them down to 3, it's almost as good as a maiden. And the wicket as well. Taking wickets always slows down run rates.
Yeah, well, they'll just be trying to go to run a ball. So we'll see Celeste Rack changing ends, seeing how she gets on. Worked for Julianne Morrissey, why not for Rack? Great start to the over from Rack. They're thinking about taking on the fielder. A poor throw from the fielder in the deep means that Cleena Tucker can come back for 2. That should never have been, but that's how it's going to be, I think, at this stage in the game.
I think with 3 overs to go, it's helter-skelter time.
A full one from Rack. Unfortunately, that one slipped out. It's called a no ball from Jeremy Jeffrey.
Well, the Prendergast put it where it belonged.
Yeah, poor delivery. You can see the disappointment from the bowler. She's running in quite fast, possibly trying to bowl a little bit too quickly, too flat, and then it's just slipping out of the hand. So a free hit, and I think Orla Prendergast will want to make this one count. Down the track, straight down the ground like a bullet. 2 bounces and over the rope. 4 runs.
Beautiful shot straight back past the bowler, making full advantage of the free hit. 9 off that ball, and it kind of doesn't help the work that was done in the previous over to keep them down to 3.
Now, but you expect 1 or 2 expensive overs, I think, T20. So you'd be counting for that well bowled in the air chance for Paul. Decides not to go for it. They're taking a second run. So disappointing for me. I think an Ireland player such as Paul should probably be looking to take that chance, but it is a difficult one moving to your left. A much better delivery from Rack.
Discretion the better part of valour, perhaps. Happy enough to stop the boundary.
Good fielding from Niamh McNulty, but great running from Cleena Tucker. She knows her job. She's getting in and out, backing up well, and turning 1s into 2s. That's 3 times now she's come back when probably it should have been kept to 1.
And each time it's keeping Orla Prendergast on strike. She's very quickly moved on to 22.
Down the track again.
Oh.
Well bowled from Rack, but that misses everything. The keeper gives chase, missed the pads, missed leg stump, missed Cecilia Joyce behind the stumps. Good tidying up from Isabel Light.
Well chased down. I think keeper half expected it to hit the stumps. I think the batsman was waiting for the death rattle, but it slipped past and got past the keeper, and instead Pembroke ended up with 2 more on the board.
Yeah, really tough one, that. You have to hope for a bit of luck as a wicketkeeper. Hope it hits your boot or your pad or something. Short again, clubbed into the deep. Rebecca Stokel comes around, does well in the end. They decide not to take on the arm. Good decision, as it's the final ball of the 18th over. A really good one for Pembroke. Expensive over for Merrion. Pembroke moving on to 125 for 4.
Another fine example of Merrion's great ground fielding to date. Picked that up in one hand and got it in very quickly, and there was no chance that Pembroke were going to try and take two to that arm. So, 2 overs to go.
Big decisions for Merrion, trying to decide who's going to bowl the last over. Is it going to be the youngster Niamh McNulty? Will Rack gamble? There were a few loose deliveries, but actually a good few chances in that over. Julianne Morrissey, having done so well in her third over, she'll finish out. She's been really good, 1 for 19, and Leah Paul just realises they've got an extra fielder out, so saves her team a no ball and a free hit.
A good thing to notice as well. I mean, it's so easy not to know, especially in the days of coloured clothing, actually, because Mary Waldron is standing close to the boundary, and to colourblind people would be
beautifully struck from Prendergast. That's towards the car park. A chance, but a chance in the crowd. That's 6 of the best.
First 6 in the innings. And that's a fine shot, and that's what all the Prendergast can bring for Pembroke. And that's why they're trying to get her as much of the strike as possible now.
Well, the difficulty now for Merrion is Julianne Morrissey doesn't really have too many changes of pace. She's going to keep on throwing it nice and full. Prendergast will keep on hitting them down the ground. A chance over the head of Celeste Rack. Another 6. It's back-to-backs maximums.
That's the helter-skelter part of the innings coming together now. That's 2 big hits. As you say, she's set herself now.
Well, she was dropped on naught, and she's making Merrion pay. 37 now from 19. Flatter down the ground, chipped over point. That one might race away. You make your own look in this game. That's 4 more for Orla Prendergast, and bowler and wicketkeeper coming together to discuss a new plan, perhaps.
Well, they're going to feel like they need one at the moment. And yet, cricket, the funny game it is. Orla could miss the next one. But Pembroke will be happy because she certainly has pushed the score on there now. 16 at it.
Well, it was a 107 for 4 with 3.1 overs to go. Orla Prendergast has pushed that up to 141 for 4. What a shot that was. Unfortunately, you need your tallest fielders down on those ropes, and there aren't too many of them going around the Merrion team.
Tall fielder with a ladder.
Change in field, 2 extra covers now. She's going to bowl wide outside off and flatter. That goes to where that fielder's just been moved from. Isabel Light gives chase. She should chase it down. Oh, and a misfield. Not what Merrion want at the moment. Really unlucky for Julianne Morrissey.
Isabel Light done everything there, right? She caught up with the ball, just mistimed going down for the ball, and it managed to sneak past her, get over the boundary, and that is unfortunate for her and for Merrion.
Yeah, she didn't take into account just how quick this outfield is. It's been very hot lately.
People tend not to realise just how much of a slope there is down there as well, where the cricket pitch gives way to the rugby pitch.
So a star performance here from Prendergast. She nears her half century. Cleana Tucker turns and goes again. So 22 so far from the over with 1 to go. She was 1 for 19 at the start of this over. What a cruel game cricket is.
1 minute, you're the hero.
Chance, but it was too wide. Cecilia Joyce couldn't get the ball back to the stumps in time.
It's almost slow motion in real life.
It was a good plan, but the long levers of Orla Prendergast saved her. She was able to reach back in. So last ball of the penultimate over. Well bowled from Morrissey. Prendergast did come down but had to adjust. They'll only take 1, or Prendergast on strike for the last over. Pembroke motoring now. They move to 149 for 4. 1 over to go.
That last ball, you could see that Orla was looking for the big hit. Oh, just back in time. But she was looking for the big hit, but once it wasn't there for the big hit, she had the sense and the cricketing brain just to play it off for the single and retain the strike for the final over.
Yeah, I mean, Cleena Tucker is a very, very good batter, so she's not at the stage where she has to farm the strike. She didn't have to make sure it was on strike for the last over. No doubt Cleena would be absolutely adept at getting a single and getting her back on strike, but you're right, when she realised it wasn't there and she might give her wicket away, she just pushed it into the offside, and having hit that over for 23, she's going to attempt to do the same with the final over. It's Niamh McNulty who will bowl that. She's changing ends as well. She's bowled the final over from the Wheelfield Road end. So it's a bit of a gamble, isn't it? Pace on the ball sometimes can be can make it easier for the batting side, but Orla Prendergast so good against spin, this might be the right shout.
Well, I think Niamh McNulty bowled very well in her first spell, and you keep your best bowler for the last over. If she can knock all her over early in this over, it will really give a lift to the Merrion side.
Moves to the offside, looks leg side, that's a huge hit. Pure class from Orla Prendergast. She moves to her 50 with a maximum, her third of the innings, the third of the entire innings in fact. 54 from 24, a real star turn from the Pembroke woman.
Well, that's what Orla Prendergast is there for at number 4, to push it on, and that is, as you say, an incredible half century. Achieved quite quickly. 24 balls, and the 3 sixes being the only 3 sixes of the innings, but each one of them has been a lovely 6. My goodness, a strike rate of 225.
Yeah, incredible stuff from the Ireland and Pembroke all-rounder.
She's really blossoming this year. Last couple of years have seen her take those steps forward.
No fielder at fine leg, so third man will have to come around and cut that off. So Orla Prendergast will return. Big appeal from Niamh McNulty, but really didn't have much going for it. A hopeful appeal, maybe.
Sometimes the appeal is there to stop the single as much as it is to take the wicket.
Yeah, just take a moment to thank Pembroke Cricket Club for having us. So great to have one of the top clubs hosting us. What a wicket it is, what an outfield. Great work from Dale McDonough and his ground staff. And of course, Niall Walsh and his live stream production. That's what you're watching right now. So a field change. That is the 50 partnership, as you can imagine. Most of it scored by, in fact, all of it scored by Orla Prendergast. Cleena Tucker doing her work by doing the running. Goes big again. There's a fielder there. Chance. Rachel Delaney takes the wicket. It's still important with 3 balls to go.
Orla looking for the big shot again, as you would do with 4 balls to go, but this time choosing probably the longest, one of the longest boundaries, and nicely taken catch. And that's just what Merrion wanted, was see the end of Orla Prendergast. She scored 54. She was in a 50 partnership, and now we'll see Hannah Little coming to the wicket. Last 3 balls of the innings, Pembroke have reached at 157. That's a fine knock, getting the recognition it deserves from her teammates. There again, another big shot.
It was there to hit, really. She'd moved offside. Niamh McNulty followed her, but in fact gave her arms, so she'll be disappointed that she didn't send that one over the rope. Just didn't quite get all of it. And good to see Rachel Delaney taking the chance. We said 160 was par, so 3 singles.
Yes, off the 3 last balls.
3 singles will get them there, no doubt. Cleena Tucker will be looking to score a couple of boundaries, but it's a really good turn from Pembroke. They were stifled in the kind of middle overs, a little kind of late middle overs, but then came Orla Prendergast. 54 from 25 deliveries. So Cleena Tucker changing field. Third man, fine leg, square leg, and a straight cover out on the boundary. Full toss into the leg side. Rebecca Stokel comes around. Bit of a fumble. They won't come back for two. Good choice. Very good throw in.
Very good throw. That was a wise decision.
Mark Jones will be very happy with his shout of 160. I'm sure we'll be hearing about that later.
Oh, let's see if he calls the second innings as well.
Hits straight to mid-off, and at this point Merrion will be happy to give them those runs. So Hannah Little off the mark. 1 ball to go in the innings. It's been an innings that's ebbed and flowed. Pembroke probably on top in the early stages, then Merrion pulling them right back, and then Orla Prendergast catapulting them up to 160. Big shot again into the leg side. They're just going to go for ones, and so 160 it is.
3 singles, as you said.
160 for 5 for Pembroke. So that's innings 1 done and dusted in the Sprint Coatings Women's Senior Cup final between Pembroke and Merrion. Pembroke won the toss and elected to bat. They've set a target of 161 for Merrion. It's a really good wicket, really quick outfield, and if you're in the area, do come down and watch. Beautiful out here in Pembroke Cricket Club. Super knock from Orla Prendergast. She made 54 from 25. Louise Little also 38. And Mary Waldron was good at the top, 35 from 29 for her. A couple of run-outs, but chances went down. All in all, you'd say it's honours even, as Pembroke made it to 160 for 5.
Well, nice easy one for the statisticians. 8 and over. Down the bowling now. Best figures today. Neve McNulty 1 for 20, and including her catch there, and that was just from the 3 overs. Julianne Morrissey bowled very well, but took a lot of tap in her last over. Before that, her figures were exceptionally good, but 1 for 43. Rachel Delaney wicketless, but the best economy rate by far. Certainly kept them quiet, Pembroke quiet in the middle overs. And Leopold took the other wicket with 4 for 30. 1 for 30 off her 4 overs. Isabel Light and Celeste Rack, both wicketless, but providing excellent support. Being able to use the 6 bowler, of course, always an advantage for the captain.
Yeah, so important not to have just 5 options. So the umpires will come off.
This will be the highlights of the first innings now.
Innovation from Waldron. Always loves the little paddles and sweeps.
The shots that don't take power but still annoy. Here she is being run out. She decided to take that second very early on and was counting on the throw not being there, but it was well fielded.
Yeah, strange decision really. The ball hadn't gone maybe as far as she thought, or maybe she just thought she'd got quicker. But this is well bowled from Leopold. Good length. Shauna Kavanagh came down the wicket, and when she wasn't there, played across the line.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the length that did her. She almost turned into a Yorker herself. You could see what she was trying to do.
And here's the chance. Orla Prendergast on naught. Hit into the leg side. It was a difficult one. And then there was this run out. They took on the fielder. Good collection from Paul.
Again, super ground fielding by Merrion.
Yes, smart take. Good decision.
Sensible throw.
Yeah, good decision to go underarm.
I was just saying, I can't stand why in the men's game it takes
That was Emma Mullin getting caught at point. Her lack of foot movement really costing her there. And as you say, the ball was moving slightly away, and that's what took it to the edge of the bat.
Then came Orla Prendergast. She hit the only maximums of the evening, hit 3 of them, beautifully hit really. The time that was the best of the lot probably. Clipped it leg side, catch taken in the crowd. And again down, shuffles down the track. Possibly a half chance down at long off, but Celeste Rack just not quite tall enough to hang on to that one. Here was the chance. and Prendergast got back in.
That'll be the next camera we need, is the side-on camera.
Beautifully played by Prendergast, takes it leg side a couple of times, but then there was this chance down the ground. Well taken by Rachel Delaney in the deep, but possibly a little bit too late. We'll have to see in the second innings. We'll return in a few minutes to see how Merrion get on. Their target is 161. So for now, we'll bid you adieu. Welcome back to Pembroke Cricket Club in South County Dublin for the Sprint Coatings Women's Senior Cup Final. Pembroke won the toss earlier and they elected to bat. They made 160 for 5, and that's the summary so far. Orla Prendergast had a great innings laid on, 54 from 26. Lulu Little and Mary Waldron were the mainstays early on, 38 and 35 for them. Eve McNulty just bowled the 3 overs. She got 1 for 20. And Leah Paul and Julianne Morrissey each took wickets. So a really good partnership up top here. Cecilia Joyce and Rebecca Stokel, a veteran and the new opener for Ireland. So experience and youth at the crease.
I like you calling your twin sister a veteran these days. Takes the pressure off me then, I guess.
That's it, yeah. I'm all about you know that.
No, of course,
Mark, after your prediction earlier, you said 160 was probably what Pembroke were aiming for, and that's exactly what they got. So what's the prediction for the second innings?
I didn't like to say.
The pressure's on now. It's easy calling it at the start. It's the second innings that's difficult.
The random number generator at the start of the innings proved correct for the first time ever. So under pressure, I think it's going to be very tight. If Merrion get away to a good start, it could be a very close game. But if Orla takes a few wickets up top, then it could be a different story altogether, but hopefully it'll be an exciting game anyway. 160 we said is about par, so it'll be a good chase either way.
Yeah, even if Orla doesn't take wickets, if she's tight at the start, it's difficult scoring 160 from 16 overs, you know, so important that Merrion don't let her get on top too much early on, but she is really, really dangerous with the new ball. Tall bowler, bowls probably the quickest bowler in Ireland at the moment, moves the ball in, gets some fierce bounce, and this is her home ground, so she's used to bowling here.
Aim for the ridge and let it fly, eh?
That's it. For those of you watching who maybe don't know what the ridge is, there's a bit of a ridge when you're bowling from the St John's Road end. That's where Prendergast is coming from now. A bit of a ridge. If you hit a good length, it flies. Mary Walden behind the stumps will be hoping that happens, and she'll be ready to take the catch behind. So second innings almost underway. Rebecca Stokel facing Orla Prendergast. Solid early on.
Orla straight on the money first up though, just back of a length.
Yeah,
pretty
excellent.
straight, not a great amount of movement though. Nicely played.
Now I'm Isabel Joyce, joined by Mark Jones in the commentary tent, we'll call it.
Call it a tent, yes. Takes the sun off my rather follically challenged head as Orla Prendergast's father Peter just walks past the comm box.
Yeah, he looks happy. Why shouldn't he? Little bit of nerves showing from Stokel there. You could see she wasn't sure should she come forward or go back, but good defence.
Yeah, nervy start all round, I think. I think Orla's holding back a little bit as well. Just concentrating on line and length. It's a good start from her. No great sideways movement though, either in the air or off the pitch as yet. With a lacquer still on the ball, it's always difficult to move it in the first over, especially in these warm, humid conditions.
An ill-advised shot from Stokel.
Yeah, it was very close to be trying to run that one down at third man.
Didn't really get into the right position for it. She didn't really get on the front foot or the back foot.
Mary's doing a bit of gamesmanship there, thinking the ball might have actually clipped the off peg and the bell didn't come off. Giving a little kick there to see if there's any jangle, make sure the bells move.
She wouldn't be averse to an old word in the batter's ear, Mary Waldron. She'll definitely keep the chat up through the day.
Nothing wrong with it.
You can see Pembroke are really up for it in the field. Lulu Little, she'll be key in that respect for Pembroke. Excellent throw. And you've got Shauna Kavanagh in extra cover. She's lightning quick. Great throw from her as well. Cleena Tucker is excellent in cover. We saw her running between the wickets in the first innings. She got Orla Prendergast back on strike and helped propel Pembroke up to a really challenging total. Full, and again Rebecca Stokel looks to guide that one down. Probably would have been better off just playing a strong shot through the covers. It was basically a half volley.
Very much so. Early doors, you need to be playing straight. First over of any game, of any innings, you need to try and be hitting the ball through the covers, back past the bowler. As you say, that was looked to be quite full and half volley length. So throw the hands at her as opposed to try and work it away down on a very high risk shot down a third man.
This time it does come back in from Prendergast. Stoker looked like she was trying to guide it down, but a great opening over from Orla Prendergast. None from it. Merrion, naught without loss.
That'll certainly settle Orla and Pembroke as well.
So it'll be a left-right hand combination. Leah Paul, the other opener. I did think it was Cecilia. I think she's wearing Cecilia's pads. That's criminal, isn't it? My twin sister, I can't even
I'm not
tell
quite
the
sure
difference.
You don't even recognise yourself.
I think I've got to get these eyes checked.
That has to be your first, and it's live on YouTube.
I can never deny it. Well, I do know this is Hannah Little and not Lulu Little. Lulu Little opened the batting for Pembroke, and Hannah Little will open the bowling along with Orla Prendergast.
We've someone out the back checking that out first of all.
Well, I know Lulu is injured, so she's not bowling at the moment. An easier one not to mistake. She'll open the bowling from the Wheelfield Road end. Good start, great length from Hannah Little. She'll swing the ball back into the left-hander.
That one just held up and went across. It was a very fine spell of bowling earlier on from Leah Paul, so hopefully she follows it up now with a good innings as well. Well, she might not take it a wicket, but she had a very good economy rate.
On to leg stump. They take on Orla Prendergast, and it feels like today's her day. I'm not sure I'd be taking her on in the field. Everything she does turns to gold.
A little bit of swing. A little bit of drift.
Yeah, she'll usually, Hannah Little, operate to the right-hander anyway, between 4th and 5th stump line outside off. Mary Waldron behind the stumps is very used to her bowling stands up, so it makes it quite difficult actually, because when Little bowls that length, it's hard to get the ball through the covers when it's on the up.
Just lost a run up there.
Yeah, struggles with no balls sometimes, Hannah Little. Started off the season this year really well. Once she came back from injury, was actually in excellent form last year. So disappointing for her that she did suffer an injury during the winter, but has just struggled a little bit for her lines in the last couple of weeks. Not this time though. Really good.
Yeah, good areas. Again, a little bit of swing. Nothing really to write home about coming straight from the arm. But a very watchful start by the Merrion batters.
I think they know they'll catch up. They what they don't want is to lose a few wickets early on. They're very top heavy. Top 4 or 5 batters will want to do all the work. Looks to go behind point again. Makes contact this time, Rebecca Stogel. She's tried that shot a number of times, and well placed between backward point and third man.
Yeah, I think she weighed on that one a little bit better, and obviously not as Hannah's not as quick as Orla through the air, so she was able to just play that just behind point, kind of a half stop in the point region, and they were able to get through for 2.
Yeah, it's not as dangerous a shot either, is it, when the swing is moving away from the batter?
Correct. I'd still prefer if she started to play straighter. It's a much better shot. You're going to get more value for your shots there. All you're looking to do there is, run it down a third man for a single, but the likelihood is the high percentage chance you get out doing it.
Yeah, I think she should be playing on the front foot, looking to play through the covers. If you get a thick edge, you hope it doesn't land in the wicketkeeper's gloves, and if you hit it well, you just have to beat that cover fielder short. There's the edge.
There's a thick edge.
Third man is wide. Makes a good effort, but doesn't manage to cut it off. So a streaky boundary. Yeah, a streaky boundary for Rebecca Stokely. The first of the innings for Merrion as the second over finishes, and Merrion move on to 7 without loss.
Yeah, trying to cut every ball, I think. Whereas we'd like to see it coming towards us here in the com box as opposed to down to the score box.
You can get a little bit caught in one mindset, can't you, as a batter?
You can. I think a little bit of nerves as well, being a cup final and looking to do well, looking to get off strike, looking just to rotate.
Yeah, she wants to be the anchor maybe, so she's trying to play high percentage shots and look for singles, and it's probably not her game, Rebecca Stokell. She's a really strong batter that plays well down the ground, so I'd like to see her back her ability. It's what she's generally told to do. She drives well, and that's actually the shot that's on offer against Hannah Little anyway. But Orla Prendergast now bowling her second over from the St John's Road end to Leah Paul. She'll move it away from the left-hander. They take on the fielder at mid-on. Just elects to go to the wicketkeeper's end. An odd decision.
Yeah, it could have been tight with a direct hit. Nice clean pickup and very short throw to the bowler's end. Might have had Leah struggling, I think. Maybe the wrong option is.
Yeah, I think the reasoning might be that Leah Paul is lightning between the wickets. Very good runner, and Stokell, well, quick, probably wouldn't be as fast, but much longer distance to throw. So you generally tell your fielders to throw near end unless there's a mix-up and the batters are both at one end. Big swing in from Prendergast. A much better shot from Stokell. Elects to play straight. Well fielded in mid-on from Kimberly MacDonald.
Yeah, much better looking stroke there from Snorkel this time. Tries to go through the covers and finds the inside edge and squeezed out to mid-on. Come through for singles.
Well, it swung late. It swung into her leg stump. So while she was going for the big off drive, she adjusted well. I'm still reeling over my call of Celia opening the batting with Stokell, and it's the left-handed Leah Paul.
I wouldn't say anyone noticed at this stage is. But I wouldn't check Twitter for a couple of days. I could be close.
Definitely not out, but that could have been. Pitched way outside leg stump for me. Good decision from umpire Srini Karpe. But took off Leah Paul. Didn't know where the ball was. Sent back by Rebecca Stokell. Throw went into Mary Waldron, who tried to effect the run out, and I think Leah Paul would have been gone for all money if the ball had been a couple of inches further to the right.
Definitely would have been run out with a direct hit. Mary did her best to get up to the stumps as quick as possible, but in that short space of time, she just didn't have the opportunity.
Chance just was in the air for a couple of seconds. It would have been an absolute specky if she'd taken it.
Would have been a belter, all right.
She's a great athlete, Orla Prendergast. You can see that she was disappointed afterwards that she didn't take the catch. I'd love to see that.
Fine effort, absolutely. You want people trying hard. Here we just see it on the replay. Might have just got fingertips to it, but the ball was dipping down. Very tough, those C&Bs.
Yeah, I'm not sure it actually even really, we can call it a drop. It didn't really reach her.
She's bowling nice and full here, Orla, letting the ball do the work. Oh,
they run on the overthrow.
Mightn't have been a need for to try to run out there. You hate that as a bowler, don't you? A needless overshy. But it only cost one. It didn't go to the boundaries. When it goes for four, that's a real killer.
Yeah, and Orla Prendergast is the
that's
kind of
cool.
cool.
Double teapot comes out.
She's a cool and calm customer. Prendergast, she won't even stress about that. You always want your fielders to go for any chance, really, don't you, as a bowler? So
you got to be positive, all right.
Yeah. A lucky inside edge from Stokell. If she hadn't got that, she was in trouble. Great finish to the third over from Prendergast. 3 from it. Merrion just crawling along their 10 without loss. And while we have the chance, I'll just mention our sponsors, Sprint Coatings and their MD, Alan McGuinness. Great supporters of the game in Leinster and Phoenix Cricket Club, and in particular women's cricket. You can see how many people are here at the game. We've our Irish women's captain in the background there. I think it is. Well, I shouldn't guess anymore, should I? And then
was
a
just about to
couple
say.
couple of Lewises. They're enjoying the sunshine. But and thank you as well to Pembroke Cricket Club for hosting this final and a number of other ones that will be live streaming, thanks to Niall Walsh over the summer. Hannah Little strays down leg. Good keeping from Mary Waldron behind the stumps. Always difficult with a left-right hand combination.
Not easy. Signal the wide that time. I think Mary just lost her footing as well going down leg. A very sedate start to this innings. Not really making use of the power play, not looking to make use of the power play just yet. Both batters happy to try and play themselves in.
Beautifully driven through the offside from Paul.
Just as I say,
Commentator's curse.
glorious shot through extra cover. 4 runs, very nicely played by Leah Paul. Slightly on the up. I think it was a bit of a slower ball as well from Little. And very nicely timed to the covers.
Yeah, just gave her a bit of width. Was too full as well. Paul pouncing on the looser delivery.
That should settle them down now a little bit as well.
A better length, but a thick outside edge. There is protection in the deep. Third man comes around. A good throw from Anna Beale in the deep.
Finds the outside edge that time, but it was a better length though, right? But a good bit wider. Might have even been signalled the wide if it was missed.
You wonder now if Mary Waldron should continue to stand up the stumps, because she can't catch that. I mean, I don't think she would have caught it anyway, but any edges are unlikely to really make it into her gloves. If they're really trying to get caught behind, she needs to stand back in the air. But leg side over the mid-wicket fielder. Another boundary. So Merrion getting into this game in the 4th over. 2 boundaries from this one so far.
Yeah, slightly straighter this time from Hannah Little, and Rebecca Snorkel pounced on it, playing it over mid-wicket. Nicely played, didn't try and overhit it that time, but good to see her try and hit the ball in front of square and just showing her power then. Just getting back to Mary standing up. When Mary's hands are as good as we just demonstrated there, I've no problem with it. I don't think she would have reached any of the edges that are there so far, so it keeps the batters honest and keeps them in their crease.
Yeah, it does keep them in their crease, but I think you can play with more freedom, can't you, as a batter from the crease? You can throw your hands at anything outside off and not be worried about the edge.
It's a bit of a double-edged sword though, with swings and roundabouts, isn't
absolutely,
it?
Absolutely, 50-50. Depends how you're trying to get the batter out.
Stay down a wee bit. Just back of a length that time.
I don't think there's any call for going back actually to Hannah Little. Doesn't really bowl the ball into the pitch, kind of kisses the wicket, so it doesn't get any steep bounce. So regardless of what length it is, really, I'd be saying to a tall batter like Rebecca Stokel, just keep coming and playing on the front foot.
Yeah, just as you say that, there's just change in the field. Long on has gone back and fine leg up into the circle.
Good field change.
Should be called wide by umpire Jeffrey.
She just looks like she's struggling with a run up here, Hannah Little. No rhythm in it. She's usually a very rhythmical bowler.
Metronomic, yes.
Yeah, kind of walks into her delivery stride, and it's just not looking like it's working like it usually does at the moment.
The action looks very repeatable, all right, but she just seems to be struggling with the run up, all right.
That was better. Well played from Stokel. She forced the fielder back on the boundary and then takes the single down through. That's good cricket.
That's very smart cricket, all right. That's what you want to see as a captain and as a coach. Is players using their heads, using their abilities. Now you force that change and you might as well make use of it.
Strays into the pads, but Leopold misses out. So an expensive over for Pembroke. Merrion moving along to 23 without loss.
Yeah, that was one that she could potentially have thrown the hands at. As we just see a replay of the extra cover drive on screen. Bit of a circumspect start, Izzy. What are your thoughts so far?
Well, I think that Pembroke are top heavy with their bowling attack. Or Prendergast is the real threat, so they will have spoken about not giving her wickets. You know, sometimes Order Prendergast is good enough to just get you out with a wonder ball, but you know, don't give her anything. And then Hannah Little is their other main threat. And you know, Beale is also a really good bowler. Anna Beale, very difficult to get away. But outside of that, I think Merrion will try and catch up against the other bowlers.
Yeah, it's been very watchful here, all right, in the first 4 overs. Just moving along at just over 5s.
Hannah Little's gone for 19 in her 2 so far, whereas Prendergast has gone for just 3. So she usually goes for, you know, single figures in her 4 overs. You have to make it up in the other 16, which does put pressure on the Merrion batters to catch up. So even if she doesn't take wickets, Prendergast, she'll still be doing a good job for her team. There's that shot again.
There's that awful shot again. Yes. The reason I call it an awful shot is because I used to play it on a regular basis, and I used to drive myself and everyone around me mental, trying to nerdle it down at third man, missing it completely, and just doing your own head in playing it.
Yeah, it's a funny game.
You know, you should just be trying to hit it in the V and get one, but
well, I think it is something that they've worked on, the Irish team, getting singles down to third man. But when something's not working,
it's more a guide though, as opposed to a
when something's not working, you need to maybe just put it away for a while.
And again, unfortunately, another dot for Orla. Will she bowl straight through, do you think, or will she keep the one back?
I think she'll keep one back.
Be a big gamble to bowl all the way through, wouldn't it?
Yeah, no, they'll have to keep one back. I'm surprised she's actually bowling through now. I think I would have changed the bowling. I know it's dangerous when there's only 2 fielders out, but these two haven't really, you know, loosened the shackles yet. I'd want 2 opportunities to bring Orla back myself.
Yeah,
2 1-over spells.
But if they haven't got a wicket so far, which they haven't, that's what they're searching for. And as you say, if the Merrion team are top heavy in the batting, getting
nice
a wicket
shot.
could be crucial. Very nicely played by Snorkel, straight down the wicket. Sorry, straight down the pitch. 4 runs past mid on. Just waited on that, didn't try and overhit, and timed it beautifully.
Yeah, well, they're reaping the rewards of being circumspect here, Stokel and Paul. Orla Prendergast went for the wicket ball, went too full, and Stokel pounced on that leg stump half volley. Really nicely played. No chance for mid-on to cut it off.
Yeah, what impressed me there, she didn't try and overhit, she just leant on it, used her timing.
No ball called. Is that the front foot, or is someone straying outside the circle? I think it must be the front foot. You can see umpire Srini Carpe just walking forward to show Orla Prendergast where her front foot landed.
And also a signal to free hit as well. No change in the field this time, the batter didn't cross.
Always interested to see what the bowler bowls on this occasion. Slower ball, Yorker, bouncer. I think I'd be going bouncer if I was Orla
Combination
Prendergast.
of all 3 maybe?
Yeah, that'd be great. Slower ball, bouncer at the back of the hand. Down the track, goes for the short ball, but it's a wide. She'll have to do it again.
Oh dear me! So the free hit in the first innings was a wicket. The free hit in the second innings so far has been a wide. Has to be bowled again. She did go shorter. She might have spotted Rebecca coming at her. So interesting to see what happens now. Do you go deep in the crease of the bat, thinking that she might go short again and try and go through the vacant mid-wicket area?
I think so. Well, you've got third man and fine leg back, so you're going to have to go short as Stokel's strong down the ground.
This time she makes contact and probably will be 4. Slight under edge through the backward square area, but 4 in a book.
Yeah, she guessed right, Stokel.
She did. She hung back that time, didn't she?
Yeah, she knew with the field that Prendergast had, it was probably going to be short. Mid off, mid on, up, and Stokel's strength is down the ground. So that's the difficulty when you know each other so well. These two train together all the time in the Irish setup. So after going for 3 runs in her first 2 overs, this one's been an expensive one for Prendergast. 10 so far, with 1 to go.
Far, yeah.
Nicely driven again. Mid-on has gone straighter, but they take her on. A single to finish the 5th. Merrion move along to 34 without loss, and with that we'll have a commentary change.
Welcome back, Sean.
Thank you, Craig.
So 161 for Merrion. They're certainly setting their sights on it anyway.
Yeah, it's been a composed start. I think we see the importance of trying to keep wickets. That's the key currency for Merrion. And Pembroke, well, they went searching for it there with the third over of Prendergast, and it just backfired on them slightly, ignited a little bit of momentum into this Merrion chase. Rebecca Stokel on 21, Leah Paul on 7. A few extras already from Pembroke. They'll be looking to put that short.
It's been an Achilles heel for Pembroke this year, has been number of wides bowled. Now, it sometimes is tough with the one-day wides, nothing down the leg side. Luckily enough, in Division 14 of Open competition, I don't have to put up with that. Otherwise, we'd never get a game finished. But here in Premier Division, Anna Beale now to bowl from the Wheelfield Road end. Mary Waldron making a few changes in the field, just checking Mary Waldron's attention to detail is second to none in Leinster cricket, whether she's umpiring, batting or setting a field.
But I think this is again a crucial over. It wasn't the Pembroke innings or similar score, but this is the last over of the power play. Last over where 2 fielders are allowed outside, and she's bowling to Rebecca Stokel. And just going to bowl a wide down the leg side to start. So again, this is the problem. They went with Prendergast for that third over, the trump card, and it kind of backfired on them. Now all of a sudden, while the rest of the Pembroke bowlers, they're on the back foot straight away. Wickets are crucial.
Anna Beale is actually the leading wicket taker for Pembroke this year. She has 12 wickets. So although Waller is definitely the spearhead of the attack, other bowlers have been picking up slack as well.
Played around behind 45 and they'll get 2 here. Good fielding in the deep, good arm as well. Right over the top of the stumps. So already 4 runs just from the one ball bowled by Anna Beale.
These extras do put extra pressure on the bowler if you're bowling 8-10 ball overs or even worse.
Down the leg side, that'll be another wide. Crowd starting to fill up here, isn't it?
Anna Beale has a very square on bowling action. It's all coming from a shoulder and it only needs to be slightly off and the ball just slides down leg. Yeah, you're quite right, it's a beautiful evening and the crowd has really picked up here now. There's over 100 here now.
I would say good running from Stokel. Yeah, crowd absolutely getting themselves set for what should be a brilliant end to this game. Looks like these two could take Merrion to a really good start. 40 for no wicket. 2 Irish internationals. Right hand, left hand partnership as well. It'll be interesting to see how Beale deals with this. Putting deep
first
square
of all,
out.
she's going round the wicket, so deep square has to go out.
And fine leg as well. So anything outside off, there is a chance. No one out on the offside. And it is outside off. And it's put away. And that'll be 4. And that's the danger of bowling in the power play right there. Only 2 allowed outside the ring. You put 2 on the leg side to deal with the strength of Leopold on the sweep. And if you're short and wide, well, you're going to get punished. And that is the danger of the power play. That's why it's so important. And all of a sudden, Beale on the back foot, one of Pembroke's strongest bowlers. She's bowled 2 Irish internationals. It's not easy at any time, never mind the power play. Very important she fights back. Down the leg side and it's swept. Swept fine. Well, they take on the arm. And that's great running from Leopold. She was going to the danger end, she called it through. And all of a sudden there is that little bit of momentum in this Merrion innings.
Kimberley doing some fine fielding down at the net there. But Leopold saw the fielder and took on the arm. and got home successfully. Beautifully played out square leg, just a single there this time. Klinger Tucker with the fine fielding, back to Mary Waldron. That's the end of the 6 over. The score has moved on to 1 to come.
Yeah, 1 to come, of course. 3 wides already in the over. 13 from a last ball. She has to find a way of getting out of the over. Last ball of the power play as well. Wonder where Stoker will target. Deep square. Out. That was long on, and that's got away with that one slightly. It was short down the leg side. I think Stokel might have missed out, but that is the end of the 6th over. 14 from that last over, we did mention it. And Merrion, they moved to 48 without loss. They'll be definitely happy with the start they've made. It was slow and measured, and all of a sudden the last couple of overs, and they may feel like they're in the driving seat at the moment. Still a long way to go, runs on the board, but that run rate there, as you can see on your screen, 8. I think that will annoy that Pembroke side. It will be the 9 extra so far after what was a really good start, Craig.
Well, Pembroke have had difficulties with wides this year. They played one game where they gave away 61 wides. A game that they went on and won, but certainly didn't help themselves. Merrion have managed to start at exactly the run rate they needed after 6 overs, 8 and over. 8 and over plus 1 will be enough. The umpires signalling, windmilling furiously, trying to signal to the scorers that the second power play commences. And this is Barry McNichol now, bowling from the St John's end. Bringing up third into the circle.
Of course, now a lot easier to bowl. You can put a few extra fielders on the boundary. Cow corner is open. It could be the option Stoker uses. Just plays it off the back foot. 3 out on the leg side. It has been a good start by Merrion. They've just made their way into this, gone about their work nicely. But again, like we say, the wicket's here, and that's the key currency.
Very going wide of off stump, which isn't really what she wants to bowl with the field she has set. She wants to be more stump to stump, encouraging the play on the leg side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5-4 field. And there are plenty of singles on the leg side, and if you pierce the ring on the offside, there's boundaries.
2 wide this time. Umpire Carpe.
This Achilles heel of the Pembroke attack at the moment is the number of extras.
And now to respond to that ball, and they've dropped third man, and I don't think that's a bad ploy either, because it wasn't going to be too long before Stoker could get a bit of bat on it. That's well balled, full toss, hit down towards mid off. Direct hit could be close. There wasn't a direct hit. There may well be overthrows here, and there is, and that's going to be the 50-run opening wicket partnership. It's been a brilliant start by these two. They've really gone about their work well, and they're starting to put pressure on this Pembroke side. It'd be interesting to see how they can react to it.
They're certainly taking away the one thing you don't want in a cup final, which is scoreboard pressure. They're scoring at such a rate that isn't an issue.
Pulled leg side, bit of work.
That's going to make it to the boundary.
4 more, and again, like we said, the pressure. And Merrion are well on top here. Rebecca Stokel, you can't bowl that, I'm afraid. To someone who's on 27, seeing it well. She moves to 31. It does feel like Pembroke have gone a little bit flat out there. Very hot, very trying conditions. You just feel like they need something to happen. They need to create something. As the ice cream man pulls into Sydney Parade. Could well be busy. Outside off.
It's wide again.
Umpire Carpe. That's the problem. She's trying to keep it out of the hitting arc of Stokel.
That's a much better ball.
Oh, there might have been a little inside edge. Very tough chance for Mary Waldron. With some of her high standards, maybe she felt like she might have got it. Did sound like a little inside edge. Difficult one, of course. That's a better delivery though by Nicol.
And the inside edge, of course, taking it down to the ground, so making it even more difficult for the keeper.
Short in the air. This is a chance. This could be the first wicket. Oh, she went one-handed. And Stokel's got away with it. Hands on the head for Pembroke. That was a big chance. Looks like she might have misjudged it in the air. And Rebecca Stokel dropped on 31 at the end of the 7th over. Merrion at 57 without loss. That could be crucial come the end of this game.
Well, that's the one thing we have seen today is ball put down. Chances not taken of catches. Catches win matches, but neither side have excelled at that side. The ground fielding of Merrion was fabulous. But the ball in the air has caused problems for both teams now. Here it is again. See, she just gets under it, lofts it there. And then the fielder doesn't ever quite get close enough and doesn't have the confidence for two hands. And another one hits the turf. Oh, I wanted to be absolutely sure, but I think it was Anna Beale.
Difficult chance, change of bowling. Cleaner Tucker to come on.
Taking the pace off the ball now.
3 out on the leg side, deep cover out as well. Merrion in a good position. Pembroke need a breakthrough. Can they find one?
That's short.
Played out to deep square. Will just be one. Might have got away with that. Bit of a loosener to start.
She won't want to pitch them all halfway down the track like that, but she won't.
Again, this is the difficulty with a right hand, left hand partnership. Change of field and for Leah Paul.
Kim Lee now going out deep square leg.
Cow corner out as well. Deep cover sweeping on the offside. No one at short 45, so any sort of fine sweep. There'll be a bit of work to do in the deep.
Again, Mary's attention to detail and moving fielders for the left-hander. Shauna Kavanagh sweeping there on the boundary.
No, and untidy. That's
a bit
good running.
sloppy, and that just brings down the tone of the entire Pembroke team, and that's a shame. There should have been somebody backing up there. Instead, Mary having to fetch it herself.
Well, I think that's probably cup final pressure. Just things are happening out there that maybe we wouldn't see in a normal game. Couple of drop catches in the Merrion bowling innings as well. So a bit of work for Pembroke. Leah Paul sweeps that out. They might look for two.
She'll take on the arm here.
And that's really good
Kim
running.
Lee gets it back in. Yes, Merrion may look back on this and think of that drop catch off all her Prendergast when she was on naught. Because that innings certainly changed the look of the Pembroke batting.
Yeah, brilliant innings from Prendergast. 54 off 25. Well, she was out to McNulty. The final over. Again, we're just seeing 45 being put in, taken from short third. Leah Paul does like a reverse sweep. Wonder whether we'll see one. Going to see a conventional sweep, and that's going to be hit out to deep square. Bit of work to do on the boundary. And Leah Paul's going to take on the arm, and that's really good running. Been very impressed with Leah Paul so far. She's only faced half the deliveries of Rebecca Stokel, but she's making her mark as the Merrion captain in the cup final.
Well, that's what you want, isn't it? Your top players to stand up, be counted, and make the difference. So less than 100 required now, down to 97 off 13. Well, that's too short and wide, and she really has got away with that one. End of the over, 8 gone, score is 64, the run rate is still 8 and over, spot on. Certainly Merrion are going to be the happier of the two sides at the moment, one feels.
I think if you're Merrion, still with a bit of batting to come, like Rachel Delaney, Cecilia Joyce, you would feel like you're in a good position. But again, we've seen it time and time again in a cup final. Wickets bring pressure, and it has looked at times a bit of a tricky wicket to get going on. But if you're the likes of Orla Prendergast and you get lucky and you maybe have a drop catch, you can really put pay to that. What a brilliant innings that was.
Once again, it doesn't say in the book drop catch, does it? It just says runs and balls.
And of course Stoker has dropped on 31 herself. These are just fine lines, fine margins. It's going to be Nicol to continue. Bowling from the St John's Road end. Good crowd, as you can see from your pictures there.
Certainly a good way to start the weekend down here and watch some good cricket. Bit of a chat.
Of course, this is the Spring Coatings Women's Senior Cup Final, and we've got action tomorrow in the Men's Cup Final between Merrion and YMCA. You can watch that here on Cricket Leinster's YouTube channel. 2 o'clock start for that. Still 12 overs left. Field's moving again. This is the problem with the right hand left hand partnership. People moving all over. They're keeping a couple out on the sweep for Paul. They're opening up that mid wicket option if she does take it.
That's well bowled. Yeah, another wide. Those are adding up now. So
oh, a little inside edge, might get shy at the stumps. Good running from Stoker, very good running. Little inside edge between bat and pad. The scamper for a quick single. It's been the hallmark of this Merrion innings so far, the running between the wickets. Very good relationship between these two. Know each other's games so well, trust each other's calls. I think that's so important between partners.
absolutely vital, especially for openers. Nothing worse than seeing one of your openers trudging back from a run out.
That's another wide. It's an appeal there. It did sound like there was a little bit of a noise. It's given a wide.
Umpire saying it hit nothing anyway. That's 13 wides now.
Umpire Trini Carp.
In only the 9th over, that's not what you want. That'll be another one.
Mary Waldron doesn't look too happy herself as an umpire.
Oh, there's a very definite line between Mary the umpire and Mary the wicketkeeper. She knows herself.
She knows Trini Carp very well. Umpire regularly together. Mid wicket is open. Over mid wicket towards cow corner for Stoke. That's short and wide, and that's really good fielding.
A super piece of fielding by Kim Lee McDonald. That came at a rapid rate and she didn't hesitate. Got herself in the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 ball over again. It's not good. Not ideal from the bowling point of view. Merrion won't turn down. 14 runs. That's
Short
another
again.
one.
It's down towards fine leg, and that's going to be 4. And that's the problem with the wides. Again, not for the first time today. The final ball of the over goes for a boundary. 9 gone. Merrion in a great position. 74 for no wicket. And the batters are going to get a quick drink.
Merrion taking a far more consistent route to 160 compared to Pembroke's up and downs. Good opening. Sagged in the middle, and Orla Prendergast with Cleaner Tucker putting on 50 very quickly.
And I think there we've seen once again right hand left hand partnership just straying down the leg side. Nickel didn't quite get out line at all right there in that over. And then if you give any width to someone of Leah Paul, that's her strength. She punished it.
Bit of a conflab going on between Irish international Waldron and Kavanagh, but it still looks like Cleaner Tucker to continue.
And we took it to ball the final over of the 10, first 10. Merrion 74 without loss. Ball into Stoke up, 1 out on the offside, 3 out on the leg side. I think that's where the ball to Rebecca Stoke up.
It's a much better delivery, best one we've seen in a while from the Pembroke bowlers. The thing about Rebecca is she'll use her feet.
Well, that's not the place to bowl, especially when there's no 45. Let's help yourself. And Rebecca Stoke up on 35 should happily take that. And again, we've seen enough for the first time. You almost feel like they need an extra fielder out there, certainly when these two are going well. Pembroke need to find something from somewhere.
You need a game from 100 years ago where the 22 of Kent took on the 22 gentlemen of Surrey, and I often wonder how those fields must have looked like back in the day. However, there's only 11 aside here today. Cleaner Tucker now.
Short again, head out to the deep. Oh, watch the spin, well fielded. Good arm as well, right over the top of the stumps. Leah Paul, the left-hander on strike. Merrion captain. 25 from 20. Happy almost at times to play second fiddle. And again, the question will be asked, that third over of Prendergast, was it needed? Did go for a couple, and it leaves only 1 over left for Pembroke star bowler. Ireland star bowler in all aspects as well. Short outside off, hit into the deep. Shauna Kavanagh out there, that's brilliant fielding. She'll cut it to just 2, saves the boundary. Those Merrion batters look like they have all the time in the world, and they're just finding their gaps. Seven off it, the over already. 2 balls left. Swept straight to the fielder, and there it is. There's the wicket. We did speak about it. Leah Paul caught on the sweep after an 80-run partnership. Lainey Martin with the cap, and all of a sudden that could well be the little spark they needed.
Well, they certainly needed some sort of spark, and the first wicket full, 10th over, sort of halfway through the innings, 81. Here it is. It's lifted up there, and just a little extra bounce, bit more than Leah Paul was expecting, and she has clipped it round the corner straight to Lainey Martin. Well, we see that just off the edge of the screen, but that's a fine catch.
And here comes Cecilia Joyce, a hero for Merrion in that semi-final, 72 from 49 against Leinster.
Bit of a conflab here now. A little bit too much of this. Bats are in and ready. They wonder what contributes to slow over rates for with the Pembroke side. It's the number of extra deliveries they're having to bowl.
This is an important part of the game here. Pembroke have got their first wicket, and they need to get a couple more. If you're Merrion, you want to take this as deep as possible. These two have got it back for a while. Rebecca Stoker, well, a lot of the pressure's on her.
So that sees us through to 10 overs. The score has moved on to 81 for 1. The symmetry is almost perfect. 80 runs required off the last 10, and I'm joined again. Isabel Joyce.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. It's evenly poised, isn't it? Really good partnership up top. Rebecca Stoker and Leah Paul put on 81 for the first wicket. I think if they'd been offered that at the start of the innings, they probably would have taken it, Merrion.
You'd have taken your hand off as well if you'd offered them that. It's a fine start from Merrion. But this is a cup final. There's still 10 overs to go. 80 runs required. And bowling now from the St John's end. It's Hannah Little. Yes.
It's an interesting bowling change, this. She's already bowled 2 overs.
I think
you might have thought they'd hold it back, but they maybe are throwing the dice.
I think there's a bit of dice throwing going on here now.
It's a very attacking field. All of them up on the offside.
There's one down at third man, and then 2 on the leg side on the boundary, and also mid-off is up.
So they've a long on. They do have 4 out, but she does tend to bowl outside off Hannah Little. It's dangerous having cover in. Might see Rebecca Stokel targeting that area.
That's well round by Mary Waldron. That was always going down the leg side and just getting wider. Number of wides Pembroke are bowling, I was saying with Sean, is not ideal.
No, they've had a couple of weeks of this now. Struggled with their lines. Pembroke bowled a large number of extras in their 50 over game. And of course that adds to the tiredness. Hannah Little will have bowled an extra over just in extras.
They're already 2 overs into extras.
A big shot, from Rebecca Stokel. Decided to go for the big shot in the deep. Orla Prendergast, hands on hips. She thought she was in the game. She's down at deep square leg. Thought that maybe there was another catch coming her way.
Well, there is a big open area at Cow Corner. You can see where Rebecca was aiming for.
I don't understand this game plan really, because that was a half volley outside off and cover is up. Now they've changed the field. Cover goes out. And third man or fine leg comes up. This is a better field for Little if she can keep her line outside off. They're setting a field for the wide down leg really, and you can't really do that, can you, in a final?
Oh, there are some bowlers where you have to.
Big shot.
There we go. Cow Corner. Orla Prendergast watches the spin.
Good backing up from Kavanagh.
It's a fine throw she has from there.
I'd be asking her to bounce it in, I think, if I was the bowler next time.
Yes, please.
It's a nice shot from Stowe, who didn't get all of it, really. Kind of hit the bottom half of the bat, and Orla Prendergast is an immense athlete, so she got around and kept it to 1.
So glad she chose cricket over football.
Yes, aren't we all? Straight away into the offside. A favourite shot of Cecilia.
And a Beale laying it all out to stop that one getting past her. That's some rounds being driven up the wall.
Well, there are 5 fielders outside the ring, so umpire missed a no ball there. They had third man, fine leg, square leg, long on and cover out, so the umpire is missing out. We'll give them that one. They can't be perfect all the time, but changing the field, Cow now goes out for Rebecca Stokel.
Nicely drops onto the offside.
She had to hurry. Cecilia took on Shauna Kavanagh and cover. She's lightning quick, but the underarm didn't come off. So the end of the 11th. A good one in the end from Hannah Little. Just the 4 from it. Merrion 85 for 1.
It's funny because we notice at 8 overs, 10 overs, that the required rate or the rate scored was exactly 8 all the way through. So this is a far more consistent innings in looking to reach that total of 160.
Yeah, they were quiet in the first few overs, which was to be expected, Orla Prendergast opening the bowling. But they have been, as you say, consistent in their scoring. Good running was a measure of, or was a mark of their innings. Cleana Tucker returning from the Wheelfield Road end. Full toss, swept out, but hit straight to the fielder at square leg. She's done that a couple of times, Rebecca Stokel, and picked the fielder out on the leg side, rather than, well, as we saw from
the yards either side. And
yeah, well, Prendergast didn't let anything loose go to waste, did she?
no, she did not. That was some innings.
Straight down the ground. Emer Mullen looks to cut it off, but just about misses, and it crawls to the rope. Beautifully placed from Joyce, her first boundary of the innings.
Nicely placed for that 4, causing a change in the field. I do praise Mary for her attention to detail, but sometimes I feel that sometimes she sets fields for the ball that's been bowled, not the ball that's going to be bowled.
Well, she knows Cecilia Joyce's cricket as well as anyone. Played a huge amount of cricket with her, and I think that was probably the right field. After all, it's just a 1 ball too late. Plays the ball very straight, so cover is a must, and she does hit cow corner a lot. But as in women's cricket, we only have 4 fielders outside the ring, so it always feels like you need 1 more. There's always one area.
Can't cover everything, can you?
No, but again, Stokel picks out Lulu Little in the deep. She really needs to try and place that ball either side.
Again, by placing 3 balls differently, she'd have ended up with 12 runs rather than the 3 she got.
Down the ground, in the air, straight back over the bowler's head again, but there is cover long on. Good call from Stokel, and well fielded in the deep from Emer Mullen.
Now Pembroke are getting to the stage whereby they need another wicket, and this is almost like a replay of their first round game against YMCA. YMCA got off to a super start in that game and looked to have the game wrapped up, and then Orla came back for her 4th over. Again, another one hit straight to the fielder.
Good over from Merrion, 9 from it. They're approaching the 100 mark, 12 gone and 94 for 1. But they do have Orla Prendergast's last over up their sleeve. The question is when to use that chip. She'll have to take 1 or 2 wickets, you'd think. There's still batting to come for Merrion. Rachel Delaney has been in great form, scored a century in a 20 over game earlier in the week along with Leah Poole. There's also Celeste Rack, who's been batting up a storm this year, and the experience of Hannah de Berg White, and then the youngsters after that. So they'll need a number of wickets, but they'll hope that one of these 2 will be there at the end.
Yes, Rebecca Stokel now is only 5 away from her half-century. It's been a super knock by her, and it's providing the anchor role that Lulu Little provided for Pembroke, but at a better rate, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Supporting and scoring.
Yeah, Lulu Little made 38 from 44. Nicely played down the ground from Stokel. It was clear from the start, really, that she was going to try and play that anchor role. She was playing kind of dabs down to third man. We wouldn't be used to seeing her play. She was determined to give Merrion a good, solid platform.
On a mission.
Anna Beale bowling her in duckers. Bowls from about 24 yards, Anna Beale, so sometimes can lull you into thinking she's bowling full tosses, and tends to get a few under the bat if you're not aware of that.
I think she is Pembroke's leading wicket taker this year.
That was a full toss this time, but hit straight to the fielder by Joyce. Probably determined not to play across the line, knowing that field does tend to slip a few under the bat. Repeats the dose. Picks that fielder out again, Cleana Tucker. Good fielder, Cleana Tucker. So good decision not to take her on. And this can be a big ball. 2 full tosses hit to fielders. Will the frustration show, or will the experience come out on top? Gets it in the gap. And they'll probably take that fielder on. No, good throw from Emer Mullen. She's done well in the field the last few overs.
She has. She's almost making that roll on the boundary her own. Orla tends to be out in the deep as well. Both of them good fine fielders out there.
Yeah, she really adds something, doesn't she? Emer Mullen can bowl a bit. That's in the middle order. And a really good fielder. Another wide. Well, if they do come out on top, Merrion, Pembroke will rue these extras.
They will indeed. And again, it's not just the extra runs, but it's the extra balls being bowled. It's unsettling for the bowler, gets them off their rhythm. Oh, that one's too
well placed.
Too short and beautifully placed.
We were complaining about the placement from Stokel, but she made no mistake that time. That's her 50. A really good knock from her. And that's the 100 up for Merrion as well.
Landmarks all over.
16 extras so far for Pembroke. And still another 7 overs, just over 7 overs to go.
Sorry, how many extras did you say?
Well, according
14?
to the scorecard, 16.
16. So nearly 3 overs extra being bowled.
A full toss, but good stop from Anna Beale. That was clubbed back at her. Great bravery from the right arm seamer.
Sure, we're all brave when it's our own bowling. I've seen guys who have stepped out of the way of on drives, but when it's off their bowling, my goodness. Still, here we are now with 7 overs to go. 59 required. It's by no means certain this game yet, but Merrion will count themselves to be in a very good position. Just the 1 wicket down. The sunshine seems to have disappeared, but certainly bright enough still.
Cleana Tucker to Rebecca Stokel. Big full toss. That one will be called a no ball. It's out to Shauna Kavanagh, but Cecilia Joyce will face the free hit. Umpire Jeremy Jeffrey signalling to the umpires. They can change the field because the batter's changed. So I'll have cover long off. Excuse me, cover's coming in.
I was going to say that's going to be 5 outside the circle unless somebody comes in.
I think she'll have to target that cover area. Well bowled from Cleana Tucker, but not good enough. She's got it between the fielders. 4 runs to Cecilia Joyce. You have to think she was going to target over cover as that fielder came in, but was good enough when it was bowled at leg stump to get it between Shauna Kavanagh and Lulu Little on the boundary. So another change in field. Mid-off comes into the ring. The cover goes out. Comes down the track and hits to the fielder long on.
Well, that's what Cleana Tucker's bowling for. She's trying to get them to hit straight down the ground. Unfortunately, the execution isn't quite as good as the idea, and if she's bowling stuff too short or down the leg side, these bats are well settled enough now to deal with it. Oh, another wide.
I don't mind it though, because she does have a 3rd man in place. If I was to change anything for Pembroke, I think I'd take that kind of backward point. They've got a point and backward point in place for an off spinner that's bowling quite slowly, so probably a wasted fielder. Good placement.
There's another 4.
Another boundary for Stokel. We were giving out about her placement a couple of overs ago, but now she's making sure that she misses the fielders. That one goes backward of Louise Little in backward square.
I think she's found out how much easier it is to score boundaries just by steering the ball wide of the fielders.
I think as well the fact that Cecilia's now in, she's on 13 from 10. Stokel's willing to take a few more risks. She's going for placement rather than kind of just playing within herself.
Again, not over-hitting, really.
Not called a wide from the umpire, probably because Stokel moved across his stumps. So lucky ball for Tucker. We have seen that fielder from backward point coming to the 45.
She's dragged that one from outside off. It doesn't matter. She has the golden touch at the moment, another 4.
Yeah, an expensive 116 from it so far. Still another ball to go. She's doing really well with her placement now, Stokel. Anything short, she's backing herself to pick the gap on the leg side rather than trying to hit it down the ground. The wicket does seem to have slowed up a little bit, so
it does, but I was going to say it's been a very good wicket. I mean, the batsmen have been able to step across because they've been able to trust the bounce.
Yeah,
there's been nothing up and down or nothing shooting, so it enables the bat to have confidence then for those shots to leg.
Yeah, but probably don't have the confidence to go over mid-off. So good decision to go leg side. That's 14 done. Merrion 119 for 1. Here's that last boundary. Really well placed backward of square. Louise Little looks to give chase but can't. And another one. That one went between the fielders on the leg side. And just while we have this little break and play, I'll just mention Philip Byrne for catering this final, and Barry Tucker, president of Pembroke, always so welcoming and a great supporter of Leinster cricket. This is the Sprint Coatings Women's Senior Cup final. Merrion are chasing 161 for victory as Anna Beale bowls her next over full toss. Doesn't quite get all of it, Rebecca Stokel, but manages to get it between the fielders for a single.
Well, at the start of this over, Merrion just required 7 and over for the last 6 to get home, and with 9 wickets in hand, you'd think that they'd be looking to do that. The one big question is Orla Prendergast's last over. Will it be as game-changing as the one in the first round?
Well, it's a big over here, I think, for Anna Beale. She's bowled 2 good balls, 2 singles. If she can maybe sneak a few dots in and only go for singles, no extras in this over, then it pushes the run rate up. That's the thing about when there's only 6 overs left. One good over pushes the run rate up onto the back foot for Stokel, but Shauna Kavanagh's excellent in the field. Comes around and quick release, gets the ball straight back in for just a single. So 3 singles so far. If she can get a dot in here, or even 2, then she gets her team back into it. But yeah, and then when do you bowl Orla Prendergast?
I suspect it will be the next over from Anna Beale's end, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. If they can bowl an over the next over and keep it to 6, then bring Prendergast on. And if she bowls tightly and takes a wicket, then it's all to play for. Good dot. Really good dot. It's excellent bowling from Anna Beale.
Just to say about Niall Walsh and his video streaming, this is superb the way he's got cameras at both ends now. The wireless camera at the far end does provide this super picture.
Yeah, we're lucky to have him. Very lucky to have such a great system up and running. But it's 15 done. Merrion 123 for 1. And to take you into the last 5 overs, we have Sean Hussey and Mark Jones.
Thank you, Izzy. Evenly, well, not really evenly poised here, Huss.
Yeah, I think the wickets are the key for Merrion.
Big time. Just saw a very interesting tweet on, actually it was a Facebook posting. Would you believe kids coaching in Strabane has been cancelled due to extreme heat? That has to be a first in Ireland.
Has to be a first, I think. It's warm here, but it's not that warm. Bit of shade covering out. Clouds coming in. Are they coming in on Pembroke's hosts? I wonder. Nick got back into the attack. Starts with a dot. 5 overs left. There was a big 14th over there. Final over, it took her spell. Almost handed the ascendancy straight to Merrion. Still a long way to go in the cup final. That's a smoked out to deep cover by Cecilia Joyce. She's come in where she left off.
Very much so. She's not going to hang around, isn't he? She's definitely not going to die wondering. Being very positive from the outset.
Of course, I remember Rebecca Stokel dropped on 31. Good way. Catches win matches, as they say.
Very much so. That was a big moment in this game, all right.
Oh, there it is, stumping. Umpire Carp takes it in time. Brilliant stumping by Mary Waldron. That's what she gives you. And all of a sudden, a wicket brings pressure. And the big wicket of Stokel for 63.
Yeah, Stokel coming down the track and trying to hit it over the top, as we just see here in the replay. Little bit of a way swing, and Mary Waldron has the bails whipped off as quick as a flash. Little bit of a hesitation for the umpire to give it out, but we think it's the right decision. Foot in the air. Foot in the air, definitely, yeah, that's out. Some great glove work from Mary Waldron.
Brilliant from Mary Waldron. You know what you're going to get from her. Quick as a flash. And you're right, umpire Srini Carpe did take his time. Weighed it up. I think he's given the right decision. Stokel goes for a brilliant 63. And it brings Rachel Delaney to the crease. Still a little bit of work for Merrion to do.
Yeah, runs on the board, as we said at the start, is always crucial in a final. Very, very big next 2 or 3 overs, I suspect. Orla Delaney with, Orla Prendergast with 1 left to bowl. Be very interesting to see when she comes on now. That could be the crucial over.
Yeah, 37 from 27. And this is it, Rachel Delaney. Mary Nicholl gets her wicket. Rachel Delaney fresh off a ton in the week alongside her skipper against Clontarf. She has to get her side over the line here. Strong shot.
Nicely played through the covers.
And all of a sudden the Pembroke wall.
The wall erupted all right, didn't it? Great to see. Great to see spectators back at cricket matches. Great to be here.
Definitely adds something to it.
Oh, it does. It does.
Especially for a cup final, that added pressure. In the air. Oh, it's just going to go to deep square for 1. For a moment, Pembroke might have been interested there. 1 wicket here, and it certainly sways the momentum once again. Cecilia Joyce got a user experience here. 16 from 14 so far.
Yeah, she was backing up very, very intently in the last couple of balls, looking to get back on strike. It's a very nice sweep. Should just be the one.
I think she's a little bit annoyed there, Cecilia Joyce. I think she
nice return.
I think she feels she could have got away with that.
She might have missed out getting it on the full, all right, yeah, so might be a little bit annoyed, but still she retains the strike, which is probably what she was looking to do as well. That was probably the mindset.
16 gone, 126 for 2. Very evenly poised now, and if anything, it might have just switched the way of Pembroke. Runs on the board in a cup final. So valuable. Mary Waldron's experience, as you can see on your screen. Again, so important. Those 2 on your screen there, 2 most experienced players on this pitch. They both have a job to do for their sides. And it'll be Beale again. Down the ground.
In the air. Oh, slight chance. Mightn't have carried. But there was a chance.
I think it's Kimmy Lee MacDonald there.
Cecilia Joyce down the pitch, got to it on the full. Kind of clanked it a little bit, gone through the mid wicket region, and how crucial a moment in the game could that be, Huss?
Could be massive, but I think here's a big moment for Rachel Delaney. She has to find a way of getting off strike. Her scoring zone could well be behind backward point. 3 out on the leg side. Full and good delivery. It's a dot, and with every dot, the pressure grows and the wall gets louder here at Pembroke.
Yeah, very much so. The wall could be a factor here coming in the next 2 or 3 overs as the support filters in behind the home team Pembroke.
Down the ground. Gonna scamper for one. It's good running, good stop as well. It's going to be a pulsating end to this. The Spring Coatings Women's Senior Cup final here, played at Pembroke. Credit goes to Dan McDonough and his team, done a brilliant work. Going to be a great weekend here.
Joyce back on strike now. Full toss. Played straight back past the bowler. Down to long on. Well picked up. Just a single this time. I have noticed Pembroke's backing up hasn't been great when the balls come in with a little bit of inexperience out there.
Yeah, I think this is where, again, the two most experienced players for either side have to take this game by the scruff of the neck. Waldron with a key stumping. Cecilia Joyce playing well for 18. Oh, right to the lane, he's out, back to the bowler. Anna Beale gets another wicket, this time a cotton bowled. She's Pembroke's leading wicket taker this season. She gets her first today. And wickets are ball pressure. The dots have built it. And Pembroke, well, they're alive and they're thriving here.
Yeah, I just say, scoreboard pressure there. Came down the track to try and smash it back past the bowler, over the bowler's head maybe. And again, just not quite timing it. Straight back to the bowler and well held on by Anna Beale this time. I think that's the first out of 5 or 6 cotton balls you've seen today, Hus. That's actually been taken.
Yeah, it's a brilliant catch, you can see on your screen. Rachel Delaney, well, she didn't get any of it. It's a back to Beale. It's a brilliant catch off her own bowler.
Good grab.
Well, it brings Celeste Rack to the crease. Well, these two, they've travelled all around the world playing cricket. This is a big moment for them in the cup final. Pembroke are up, they've got their tails up. The wickets, well, they come in clusters now. The pressure is building. I think this is a big moment here. Mary Waldron moving the field around. I think it's a good one. Celeste Rack likes to use the pace on the balls. Fine leg. Looks like she's coming out. Third man gone as well. It's an area of her game she's worked on, Celeste Rack. She's going to need to use it here. She's to get her side over the line. And the crowd are getting into it. This is a big last ball of this over. 32 to win now from 19 deliveries. Very much in Pembroke's hands. Full toss and the lap sweep from Rack would just be one. Good fielding. The crucial thing I think there is Cecilia Joyce will be off strike again. 3 overs left. 31 to win for Merrion. Been a brilliant cup final here. Played in brilliant sunshine. It's just got a little bit cooler now.
It certainly ebbed and flowed all right. But yeah, as you say, Pembroke have really worked their trick and are back in the box seat here. As we mentioned before, and we can't emphasise it, Orla Prendergast still has an over to bowl. She's going to be bowling one of these last 3. You'd like to think you'd probably come on the second last over, as we see so often that a lot of captains recognise that as being the crucial over, not necessarily the last one. Nicol to continue into her second over now.
Into her fourth
over, apologies.
Fourth and final, 1 for 22 so far. Of course, the big wicket of Stokel. You think with the experience out there that they do know Prendergast has one left. The extra pace maybe of Prendergast might help them. For now it's Nicol. Sweep again, aerial. They might get 2 here if Rack's pushing. I think Cecilia Joyce isn't.
I think Cecilia's happy with 1. Take the strike. She needs a big over here to try and get her team back in it.
Well, she did it in the semi-final. Can she do it in the final? Cecilia Joyce. And a fabulous player for Merrion for many years. And well for her country. These are important moments. 17 deliveries left. Merrion have gone a couple of overs without a boundary. And when you go a couple of overs without a boundary, that run rate just gets higher and higher.
You get a bit itchy, don't you? Get a bit itchy.
And it starts getting out of hands. I think Cecilia Joyce might target this here. It's down the leg side. I'm going to get a run. I think it's going to be signalled to wide. Oh, a leg bye.
Signal leg bye.
I think that's a perfect situation. Cecilia Joyce back off strike, rack the new batter.
It's all going Pembroke's way at the moment, all right, Hus?
Short, pulled away, work to do on the deep. She's found the fielder, and that's brilliantly picked up. And it's only one. That's brilliant fielding out there. And all of a sudden, that boundary option has dried up.
Yeah, that's the problem when you go down on one knee, is getting up and sprinting to the far end and time to come back, and a lot of the time you just don't make it. It's you know, it doesn't augur well when you do that.
3 deliveries left in this over. Been a brilliant spell by Nicol. Can she get out of it? Short, outside off, hit into the deep. They might look for 2. I'm not sure they'll take on the arm or Prendergast. Cecilia Joyce had one look up to see who was throwing it and elected not to take it on, and I think that was a wise call.
Very wise call, I think. Mary might have fumbled the return, but it was flat and it was quick and it was hard, and would have taken your life into your own hands doing that, I think. The umpire just confirming how many balls left in the over. 2 to come, Jeffrey. The umpires have been brilliant again tonight.
Short, cut into the deep, again out to that fielder though. Prendergast, a little bit of a fumble, but again they don't take on that arm, and to good reason.
Very much so. I think last ball of the over. I think Celia needs to gamble here, needs to go for a big hit. They really have fallen behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, wickets. I think wickets again. We've proven many things today, but I think wickets are the key in T20 cricket. They can stem the runs. Pulled into the deep. Just be one.
Just be one again. Yeah, not even looking for a second. So now 18 overs gone. 136 on the board. Will we now see Order Prendergast come on? Bit of a... Yeah, Order's got the cap off.
Oh, this is the game here.
This is it, all right. This is it.
2 overs left. Can they use the extra pace? 25 from 2 overs. Been an absolute privilege to be here. The Spring Coatings Women's Senior Cup Final. Brilliant crowd and prospect. Sean Hussey here, joined with Mark Jones, bringing you the end of this. Fans getting a little bit excited, getting behind their team. A great advertisement for women's cricket. Remember, a lot of these internationals enter the bubble tomorrow. Well, they'll play against the Netherlands next week. And I wonder who's going to have the bragging rights. Is it going to be Pembroke or Merrion? The big cheer goes round. It's Pembroke see their star player, Orla Prendergast, take the ball to bowl the penultimate over. And Merrion, well, they need something to happen. Fine legs come into the ring. Cow corner's gone out. Deep square, long on.
That's a brave call from Mary to bring fine leg up. Maybe with Cecilia on strike, she wouldn't potentially play the lap sweep, but we know Reki definitely will.
Yeah, I think we'll see the field change massively if Rack gets on strike.
Both fine leg and third man in the circle.
That's a fabulous shot. That'll be 4. That's the ideal way to start.
That is a brilliant shot from Cecilia Joyce, showing all her experience there. Just waited on that, didn't try and overhit it, punched it through extra cover. Pressure now back on Orla Prendergast.
Well, again, something we spoke about, the extra pace. At times this week it has kind of been a little bit sticky. You get a bit of extra pace and a little bit too full. As you can see on the replay, pierces the gap.
Beautifully played, didn't try and overhit it, just punched it through the extra cover. 4 runs to through that vacant area.
Well, Joyce is at the wicket. Merrion still very much have a heartbeat, very much have a foot in this game.
21 off 11.
That's better, much better bowled. I think she took the pace off it slightly in the block hold.
Yeah, slower ball that time. Very well done, very well thought.
Instant change in the field.
20 needed off 10.
Fine leg. Third man had gone back square leg and cow corner have come in. So long off, deep cover. Fine leg and third man out. I wonder if Celeste Rack can use the extra pace. Anything short, I mean, it could well be in trouble. Big moments in the game. Does Rack look to get Cecilia Joyce back on strike? full, hit into the deep. Watch the spin. And good fielding.
It's well fielded. Just a single though. 19 from 9 now. The countdown is on. Very mature bowling from Orla this time. Oh, Mary Singer to keep it outside off for don't bowl too straight. You don't want to bowl straight to Celia Joyce.
If you go outside off though, does get the opportunity. Third man and fine leg are in the ring. What does she do? Down the track, hit towards extra cover. It'll just be one. Good fielding. That's what you need. Singles don't hurt Pembroke, but boundaries do.
Nicely put. Were you working on that one all week, were you?
Had that one written down. 2 balls left in this over, 8 in total. And Merrion well behind the 8 ball.
Could be in for a super over here, Oz. It's a possibility.
We'll have to check the regs. I think it could be boundaries counted. Goes to the lap, hits her own helmet. It's just going to be 1. Not sure that's the shot. Oh, it's good running, misfield. Just a little bit slow. Celeste Rack comes back, good running. Really good running now. This becomes a bit of a free hit for Celeste Rack. I mean, if she gets out, she gets out. Cecilia Joy should be on strike for the last over. So I think this is a free hit.
It is very much so, yeah. 16 needed off 7. So as you say, if this goes for a boundary, that's huge.
And remember, Prendergast has bowled this over. That's the key. Massive delivery in the context of this game, deciding where the cup goes. Oh,
well bowled, well bowled. They've gone for this quick single anyway. Let's run the bye to Mary, who fumbled it. So it's all down to this. 1 over to go, Huss. 15 to win. Who's going to bowl it?
Looks like it's going to be Hannah Little. 19 overs gone. Merrion 146 for 3. Been a high scoring game. You called it 160. And I think if you're Merrion,
I think I'll call a super over now as well. Just for the crack.
If you're Merrion, I think Pembroke might have got 10 too many.
It just shows you the importance of Orla Prendergast's innings at the back end of the first dig. She batted really, really well.
54 from 25. Could well be the difference. Interesting to see the field here for Little. Rack on strike. There's a deep third at the moment. Deep cover. Long offs coming in. Or fine. Oh, they don't want fine leg in. There's a little bit of discussing going on.
Fine leg came up, but I think she meant deep square to go back. So they just switch around. Fine leg is back in place. And square leg has come into the circle.
It's the beauty of a cup final. That'll add a bit of importance to it. Here we go, 6 deliveries left. And we Celeste Rack on strike. I think the importance here is getting Cecilia Joyce up the top end. She has the experience. Can Rack do something? It's a wide anyway to start. That's not what. Oh, it's not. Oh, he's giving a late one.
Oh, that was a very late call for a wide. It was comfortably down leg side. We're not quite sure what the delay was there from Jeremy. Wow. Everyone's heart was in their mouth there. 1 set of total, 14 needed, 6 balls.
Just adding to it, adding to the occasion. Oh, swing and a miss, and they didn't run. And that is not good for Merrion. And that, if you're Pembroke, is ideal.
Yeah, dot ball is fantastic here. Dot to your friends. Very well bowled that time from Hannah. You see she was obviously very, very nervous first up. Getting into it, we're over now.
I think if you're Cecilia Joyce, you're just running. You're taking that gamble.
I think she has to.
And she's
gone.
Good shot by Rack.
Nicely played down to mid-off.
And Cecilia's going to stay there.
She is indeedy. 13 needed, 4 deliveries.
Well, here you have it. Experience of Joyce against the relative youthfulness of Hannah Little. Someone who's been there, done it before. They're just making sure that the right fielder's in the right position. Shauna Kavanagh goes out towards cow corner. Deep square is out. Deep cover, long on, and cow corner.
They've nobody at deep. Nobody at long off. Oh, it's just gone back now. But they're sacrificing the cover fielder for that. That could be a very big call. Huge gap out there now.
And that's Cecilia Joyce's hit mark.
Cecilia Era. Surprised at this field, to be honest.
Watch her feet. Be interesting to see if she gives herself a little bit of room. She goes deep in her crease, hit into the leg side. Might get a couple here.
Might go all the way.
She'll
It has
get
gone
4.
all the way. Fantastic batting from Cecilia Joyce. 4 runs. Magnificent stuff.
Well experienced. She knew little was going for the block hold. She went back in her crease, gave herself that extra bit of room, freed her arms up, and again, that's a bit of experience.
The key for me there, though, Huss, she remained very, very still. Her head remained still.
9 from 3 now needed. That's the key. Joyce is on strike.
8 for a super over.
8 for the super over. Deep cover again is in. Is in. There's no deep cover. I'm just wondering if Joyce may fancy that.
She might target that area, all right.
Watch the feet. I think the feet is crucial. Down the track.
Through oh, it's in the air. Will it be caught? It will be caught. That's a huge moment. Orla Prendergast, that extra cover, takes a simple catch. Is that the game, Huss? Is that the game? That is a huge moment.
I think it is. And she couldn't quite repeat her heroics from the semi-final. She played beautifully, Cecilia Joyce.
Fantastic innings. Fantastic innings. Just falls a little bit too short today, though. And it looks like it's Pembroke's here for the losing. 9 runs off 2 deliveries. 2 boundaries required. It was just see on the replay. She comes down the track, tries to free her arms up out a little bit wider, and unfortunately she just clanked it in the air, and very nicely taken by Orla Prendergast.
Yeah. Hannah de Berg, the new batter, Celeste Rack rather, is on strike. They crossed. The field again gets spread once more. It's been a brilliant game of cricket here, high scoring.
It's been a great spectacle, all right.
Good preparation for a lot of these internationals for next week. Into the bubble tomorrow. Been a long week of cricket for some of them.
More orthodox field here now for the last couple of deliveries. Nobody out in the cow area, though, I don't think. That could be an area that Cecilia Rack will target.
Oh, it's over. Backward point. They might scamper 2, but it won't be a boundary. So there's going to be 6 needed off the final delivery.
6 needed for a super over.
6 needed for a super over.
7 needed off 1. This has been a fantastic last over from Hannah Little. After a very shaky start, and then the boundary from Cecilia Joyce. But she really has kept her wits about her, bowled really, really nicely, really, really well.
And here it is. This is what it comes down to. 39 and a bit overs in. The field's moved again. They've got long off, deep extra cover, deep cover, deep square. I think the ramp is what Rack's going to do. Whether she can get all of it, I'm not sure. Here it is, final delivery. In the slot, in the air. Is it gone all the way? Oh, 1 bounce for 4. Pembroke are the champions.
Couple of bounces, 4 runs. Well tried, Celeste Rack. Sorry, apologies. Gone for 4 off the last delivery, but very well played, Pembroke. They stuck about their work. They didn't lose the rag. They didn't lose confidence in their abilities. And they came out the victors today. Great game of cricket, great spectacle for the ladies' game.
And there it is, Pembroke. And they're the Spring Coatons Women's Senior Cup champions for 2021. What a brilliant game of cricket, coming down to the last ball, everything you'd want. And the big crowd here at Pembroke at Sydney Parade, well, they got what they wanted. A fine game of cricket. Over 300 runs scored.
It was fantastic. I thought I got it right. I thought it was going to go all the way and sail over for a super over, but alas, not to be. But very well played by both Merrion and Pembroke, and it was a great spectacle.
And I think the match winner there is on your screen, just shaking hands with the Merrion captain, Orla Prendergast, 54 from 25. She ignited the Pembroke chase. And Merrion, Rebecca Stoker batted beautifully, as you can see on your screen. 63 from 59 before she was stumped off the bowl and a nickel. We'll find cameos from Leah Paul and Cecilia Joyce, but they just could not get over the line 22 extras from Pembroke. They won't want to see that again, but they don't care. They're champions.
Yeah, they looked dead and buried for all money when we came on the mic, Huss. But they really did pull it back really, really well. Nicola, great spell of 1 for 27 in her 4. Who was probably the pick of the bowlers for me, to be honest with you. Order Prendergast, 22, no for 22 in her 4 overs. Anna Beale, 1 for 30 in her 4. Hannah Little, who bowled the last over, was absolutely fantastic. 1 for 35 and 40 in her 4.
Look at the fall of wickets on your screen there. It was 5 runs between the second wicket falling and the third wicket falling. Well, there's the match summary. Pembroke, they got 160 from their 20 overs, thanks in large part to 54 from Orla Prendergast. Wickets for McNulty, Paul and Morrissey. And in the Merrion innings, Rebecca Stokell 63, falling just 2 runs short. It was a brilliant game.
Yeah, as you say, very, very, very good game. Very well played. Fought in a very good spirit. And we will be back in a few minutes for the presentation party. But from myself, Mark Jones, and from Sean Hussey, that's us for now. Thank you.
Screech, what do you behave? This shot. Oh, I'm so sorry. You will be max hung out tomorrow. Oh, yes, you will be. That's such a lie. Good, how are you? I'm good, how are you, Srini? Good, how are you? Yeah. I don't know.
Susie, do you want to go down and tell all the girls
We're not allowed, it's a precaution, we're not allowed. What the hell's going on here? When you sound
have a mic for quiet and don't speak for long.
Imagine you're yelling at someone.
No, stay there.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the post-match presentation of the Sprint Coatings Women's Senior Cup Final. What a match we had between Merrion and Pembroke, and I think we can all agree that we had a great advertisement for women's cricket, so congratulations to both teams for an amazing match. Party are Alan McGuinness, MD of Sprint Coatings, Siobhan McBennett, Chair of the Cricket Leinster Women's Committee, Stella Downs, Cricket Leinster President, and Michelle McGuinness. And a few words from Stella Downs, Cricket Leinster President first.
It's lovely to see so many people arrive here. I think it's great for everyone to see spectators back out at cricket matches again. It really makes a difference, and I'm sure the girls appreciate it. Pembroke for once again being fantastic hosts. Every year they take on finals. It can be a thankless task at times, and I want to make sure that this one isn't a thankless task. So thank you, Pembroke. You always do it well, and you've done another fabulous job tonight. I also want to thank Niall, who's the streaming guru over in the corner, still staring at his screen, and his four co-commentators, Izzy, Sean, Craig and Mark, who have done a great job for those people who couldn't be here to watch the game tonight. So thank you to all of them. Staff who've been looking after everybody and ensuring that everybody was kept well hydrated on this very warm evening. I'd also like to pay tribute to the man here beside me and his lovely wife Michelle, Alan McGuinness and Michelle, who are our Sprint Coatings and who have been taken over the sponsorship of women's cricket this year and have committed for 2 years, which is wonderful because women's cricket is stepping forward in such a big way at the moment, and it's great to know that what you put in place this year you can actually carry through into the following years, and you can only do that when you have continuity of sponsorship. So thank you to Alan and Michelle. I also want to pay tribute to the other woman up here tonight, apart from Izzy and Michelle, who I've already mentioned, and that's Siobhan McBennett. Siobhan is the chair of the Women's Committee, and I think the Women's Committee is to be hugely commended for the amount of work that they're doing at the moment, the innovation, the ideas, the Simply Social, the 100, all these things. I know Izzy is working on them with Siobhan, but all the ideas are coming from that Women's Committee, and they're ensuring that the women's game is continuing to grow. I'm delighted as Cricket Leinster President that my first final gets to be a women's final, because I think it's wonderful to see that now the women's final have parity of esteem with the men's finals. So thank you to Cricket Leinster for ensuring that. I've done enough talking. I'm roasted in this blazer, so I'm going to hand you back.
Thanks very much. So first of all, we'd like to thank the umpires for doing a brilliant job. Jeremy Jeffrey and Trini Carpe, please come forward and collect them.
Jeremy's going. You're going to have to bring it home. I'm going nowhere.
You ready, guys? Yeah, here. Lovely.
Well done. You guys come and see the show. Well done, Trini. It's that spot.
So this yeah.
Okay.
A photo there and Stella first.
Sorry. Yeah. All right, thank you. Glad I've done that. My brain.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Great. And of course, we wouldn't be able to have a game without our scorers. Thank you to Ursula Lewis, whose medal is going to be collected by Julianne Morrissey, and Graham Mooney.
Go on, Graham!
Sorry. Yeah.
Great job. And before we get to the medal ceremony, there is the player of the match to be decided by Alan McGuinness.
Okay, thank you. So the player of the match, and what was a really, really exciting game tonight. Pleasure. What a performance you put on both teams. Well done. It wasn't a night for the bowlers, more for the batsmen. And so I'm going to focus on that for the player of the match. But credit to Merrion for starting it off. Very aggressive. Bit of fielding practice for the opposition. It didn't catch as many as they should have, but good batting also. And then in response, obviously, from Rebecca, what an outstanding knock. Merrion, you had it in your hands, guys, and there you go. This is cricket. It's a wonderful sport. And well backed up by Cecilia and Leopold, obviously, well batted there. But the player of the match for me was that outstanding knock at the end, which was the most aggressive bit of clean hitting I've seen in women's cricket in a long time. Clearing the ropes at least 3 times, I think, and really impressive. Great stuff. So Orla Prendergast, I think, is...
Great summary, thank you very much. So first of all, we'll pull the captain of the runners-up up for a few words. Leopold.
Hi guys, great to have everyone down sporting tonight. Really good to get the spectators, I guess, back out and about. It was great to hear everyone cheering us on. First of all, I'd just like to thank the umpires, scorers, Cricket Leinster, and the streamers for all their hard work tonight. Pembroke, you always put on a great show and a great final, and your team, we love playing against you. We know it's always going to be a really tough battle. You guys came out on top tonight. We'll get you back sometime later. So then just to my team, Merrion, first cup final for a good few of our young girls. We gave it a great shot. So first of many, I guess. And Coach Osto for all your effort this season. Thank you very much. And then we'd just like to dedicate this season to Geraldine Asher, who we sadly lost earlier this year. She was a great member of our women's kind of section, always did the teas for us and provided us with a great smile and some lovely macaroons. So we sadly miss her, but thank you. Yeah, Celeste Rock. Rachel Delaney.
And to the winning captain, would you like to come up and make a speech?
I would, Isabel. Thank you so much for every support, even though it was half Merrion, it was fab to play in front of the crowd and have that noise around us. It was a brilliant game to play. I feel like we should share it, to be honest. It was brilliant. Cricket, yes, cricket was the winner. You took my line, Celia. Certainly after Merrion's epic semi-final win as well, that was a fab cup run. So super well played and well done, Liam. And lovely tribute at the end there. Thank you to Graham and Ursula. Ursula's obviously had enough of Graham, she's gone already, but it's a thankless job being scorer. Obviously nights like this are great, but they do week in, week out for us, so thank you so much. Umpires, thank you too. I don't know where you are, sorry I gave you a bit of grief, but thanks Umpires Union. Cheers. Cheers. Also, Spring Coatings, thank you so much for your support, so much appreciated. As it's been touched on before, the continuity and knowing what we can build on, because someone supports us and believes in us, it's fabulous, so thank you so much. That obviously doesn't happen by accident, so thank you Cricket Leinster for really turning it on for women's cricket, the support behind us, you can really feel it every week, certainly online, and we can see the scores and stuff like that, so really appreciate backing there. Huge thank you to Claire, who's at home resting because finals are too much for her, so huge thank you to her for all the work she puts in, so thank you. And then finally, Gerlo's amazing work, well done. Leah's mentioned about her team, a couple of young people. We're all very young apart from myself, so amazing. Outstanding performance from OP, but everybody contributed tonight and we've done it all season, so really, really well done. Enjoy tonight, well done. Okay, Johnny Cabinet. Oh, sorry, Johnny. Sorry, Zoe.